Subtract my age from the mileage on my speeding heart. Credit cards, accelerate, accumulate. Looked for you downtown. Wound up in a movie with no story. Now it's late and you are nowhere to be found. Hesitation's always mine. Hesitate outside the times. With all I don't say, with all I don't do, I'm sending you invitations to hesitate to. Every 10-year-old enemy soldier thinks falling bombs are shooting stars sometimes, but she doesn't make wishes on them. When she wishes for less ways to wish for, more ways to work toward it. 10-year-old enemy soldier, our falling bombs are her shooting stars. Hesitation's always mine. Hesitate outside the times. Oh, call me or drop me a line. Say you've been with me. Say
Come follow, follow me. Be so sweet, my rose red. It was a long time ago. Midnight night and full of pure. I've left no trace, try and find me. I'm cocksure. A girl in a backpack, flood of past to the floor. So let's beat, beat, beat until they want some more. A girl in a backpack.
sound. Something in your head you've been fighting all along. I don't wanna say it, the news is not so good. We'll never get away, and even if we could, we just play the tambourine around an open flame, oversleep and burn to be back in the game. 'Cause summer never comes, nowhere near high noon, and winter never comes, nor the harvest moon. Raw sugar, I don't wanna die living in a high-rise grave. I pray to call home. Save that day, high-rise grave. Raw sugar, I don't wanna die living in a high-rise grave. I pray to call home. Save that day, high-rise grave. No, I'm not complaining. Yes, it could be worse. Firm and tone, the wishbone. Match the lips to the purse. Neighborhood's a runway. Fry the ass and thighs. Dirty denim dealers. Push behind the eyes. And summer never comes. Nowhere near high noon. And winter never comes, nor the harvest moon. Raw sugar, I don't wanna die living in a high-rise grave. I pray to call home. Save that day. Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work.
Welcome to the Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan, this is James, and tonight we're going to watch the Democratic debates, night 1. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is down there in the description box. Yeah, the website is no longer on the intro of our video, because what's the point when you can just click a link?
I know.
So please donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link down there. Alright, so we got like hour and 15 minutes before this thing starts. So we're just going to chill out, just talk with the chat or pull up content, whatever the fuck we want to do. Now, I don't know if I can... hopefully we don't get cut off in the middle of the stream for some copyright bullshit. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the video on the screen, but play the audio through a speaker over there so that, you can hear everything. Hello, Joe. Propaganda says Jordan Sheridan is outside the debates. Cover that too. I'll check into it. Joe says, let's hope Tulsi and Marianne slay these fucks. Marianne's not in the first night. I believe she's in the second night. Unless you mean that she slays Bernie. King me. Only 3 independent, strong women. I'm shocked. And Propaganda says, nice haircut.
Thank you.
Wish I could just keep playing music.
Depends.
I could actually, but here, I'm gonna put this fucking speaker on.
You could just play this in the meantime.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Don't yell at me, man.
Maybe I'll save the battery. Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck. E.T. Stone Cold.
See where they're at now.
I look like a guy that used to have dreads. How?
Doing a little sound check, guys. Tell me if you can hear that. Loud and clear. It's derpy music, but, you know, can you hear it?
First real test of the 2020 election. 20 candidates battling it out over 2 nights, all needing to break through. The first Democratic debate, Wednesday and Thursday at
Reminds me of
NBC, MSNBC, and
a 90s VHS commercial.
Some red hot chili peppered fucks. Yeah, Marianne's not on tonight. Turn it up just a little bit. Yeah, I'll sound test with Jordan Sheridan's video. Oh, does he have a video out, or are you just following his tweets or whatever? I'm sure he's live there. Status code. Oh shit, he is live.
Oh my.
It's
Oh
been
my
a lot of
God.
Opportunity, and the people with unopportunity have been coming back to work. Okay.
Thank you. Good night, sir. So, on opportunity, which not a word, and the ghetto community is not racist, but this is what you hear from Trump supporters. They don't actually have specifics of how the economy is better.
Jeez.
He's talking, it just takes time. Well, I'll tell you, since 1980, we've had a lot of time. And by the way, this isn't only a Trump thing. This is a Democrat thing, too, because Bill Clinton screwed up the economy, too, and gave huge handouts to rich people. Barack Obama did not, I know Ty's going to be mad at me, but Barack Obama did not change the
I'm all over
income
that.
inequality curve. He extended the Bush tax cuts. He didn't put bankers in jail. He did not go to bat for progressive legislation. People make excuses for him, but that's the truth. He was surrounded by Wall Street. In his administration, he got the most amount of money from Wall Street fat cats during the 2008 campaign. So this isn't only a Trump thing. But right now we're talking 2019, and Trump is the president. These people, might be, I don't know where they're getting the news, but they're living in an alternate reality. Yeah, they're living in an alternate reality. And the problem is,
That sounds
you're
right.
not going to change these people's minds with Joe Biden.
It's already on the
And by
screen,
way, Bernie
goddammit.
Sanders not going to change that guy's mind either. That guy is just lost. And he's racist, too. I mean, I don't know if you thought the ghetto was, I thought that's a racist comment, personally. So, and racists don't like to be called out as racist, but I called them out.
What?
So, the bottom line is, the only way to actually
you.
counteract these delusions
Quit fondling
is with
Tim
strong,
Ryan.
Sorry.
bold, progressive ideas. And that's why I think, not because I support Bernie personally, but strategically, the only one who can convincingly actually expose that Trump is a fake populist and pick off maybe 5 to 10% of his voters, which is what it's going to take. The Democratic nominee is going to have to win some Trump voters. Polling shows Bernie does very well in those Midwest states with blue collar people without college degrees. That's who Trump got, and I don't think that guy probably has a high school degree. To be honest with you,
Just to point out, you're 3-0.
I'm 3-0. What do you mean?
Every Trump guy that came and talks to you end up walking off.
That's fine.
Don't say you're 3-0 like you winning.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do here is simple. We're here not for Trump people, but when I see a bunch of Trump people across the street, I can't resist. I can't help myself. But the point is, the only way the Democrats can win. Oh, now they're talking about. Oh, now it's the Jesus people.
It's because of these people right here.
So, bottom line, this is America here. You got the Jesus freaks, the Trump freaks, and
Sick Jesus.
All right, so we're gonna power down for a few minutes.
The funny thing about the Jesus freaks is so freaky, the Trump people don't even want nothing to do with them. Like, the churches should try to do something to them, like, y'all messing up our money.
You know what's interesting? The first thing the guy said to me,
Fuck with my money,
said to me was, "We can't have socialism." And then when I pointed out, are you on Social Security, sir? Right? He's like, "Well, we can have some socialism."
Whatever works for him, that's all it's about. But it
Team
has
players.
nothing to do with policy.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with statistics. It has everything to do with his bigotry. It has nothing to do with it. That's it. Because when it comes to what you have, because right is right and wrong is wrong.
We got 560 people watching right now. I didn't even know that. So look at it here. How you doing, sir?
You should have seen the first guy.
Oh, another Trump guy. Oh, can I talk to you for a minute?
Why do
that's
Cubans
quite the
vote
shirt. That's quite
Republican?
the shirt. You got Trump on the tank.
Pauses?
He actually.
It's live.
I could see Trump going down the street in a tank. What do you like about Trump?
Oh wait, I want to hear this
What's going
first.
on with him right now?
What do you like so much about Trump?
Chief.
Are you happy that he didn't bomb
That
Iran?
fucking shirt. Oh my
No,
god.
because I'm a Marine.
So you want more war?
Not necessarily, just proportional. But I think he's got a plan.
Shouldn't be no war.
Why? I mean,
Hold on.
there's a history of the United States. I know you were in the Marines, but there's a history of like intelligence
fouled him.
agencies just making stuff up. Do you actually believe that Iran was hitting the tankers? And Iran says that this drone was actually in Iran's sovereign territory.
Let's take that one by one, right? So, do you think this video right now you're taking of me is fake? Oh, okay. So just
What?
like the Japanese tankers were bombed and it was on video, this video is going on right now?
But the owner of that tanker said it wasn't Iran.
And you believe that? When we have video,
That's what he said.
to the contrary.
I mean, I was told we have weapons of mass destruction. There was nothing behind that.
What country doesn't have weapons of mass destruction right now?
No, I was told Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and was behind 9/11.
Did you see them not have weapons of mass destruction?
It's a double negative. You can't prove it. You can't prove it.
Hold on.
No, I didn't see them not have, but we don't go
Hold
to
on.
war based on what someone might have.
You didn't see. Well, you're playing Monday morning quarterback.
I'm just playing, hundreds of thousands of people died.
In time, all the intel agencies, right, were in consensus that
Oh, he's trying to.
all of them said that they did have weapons of mass destruction. Now you are playing Monday morning quarterback and saying that they didn't, a whole bunch of years later,
What?
That's what they said.
What?
They came back and said,
Hold on.
it was all a lie. No, this is when remember we got a
Media like you guys.
Just,
You guys should be on that side of the street.
no, wait. Let's get back. Oh no, I don't like bike. So let me get. No, but I want to give my audience. I want to give my. Wait. Right, no, but I want to give my audience an idea. That's fine. I want to get back to Trump though. So,
He wants to get free ice cream right here, right now, and that's the whole idea behind the whole thing. Everything's free. Somebody's got to pay for it. There's nothing free in this world except for death and taxes.
You don't have a problem with us paying endlessly for war. You don't
Nothing
have how
free
we're
in
going to
this
pay for that. It's
This
only
is
how we're
good.
going to
This
pay
is
for
good.
health care, how we're going to pay for education. It just seems like, and I respect your service, no question about it. But no one has a problem asking how are we going to pay
This
for
dude might
war?
hit him.
Wait. How are we going to pay for Trump's tax cuts to Goldman Sachs?
He might get
Questions
flustered
that
and
you're
just
not
throw
letting
a
me
punch.
answer in between. So one at a time, right? The fact that we have to go to war, and that is a last resort, but that the fact that we have to go to war sometimes in our history, it has proven that we've been the winners of those wars.
Oh
You're
my
saying we have
god,
to go
this
to
is.
war. We just talked about the fact that we didn't have to go to war with
So
Iraq.
if we didn't go to war in World War II, then the French, the English, and a whole bunch of other countries would have still been speaking German.
You're comparing Iraq to World War II?
And was there not terrorists in Iraq? And
9/11 was 19 people from Saudi Arabia.
Here's my answer. In your opinion, it says that you don't agree that there was weapons of mass destruction.
It's not my opinion. This is facts. There was not. Yes, the United
There was
Nations.
proof that they were taking weapons of mass destruction out of Iraq while the war was being prosecuted.
Where was that proof? Where is this proof?
All over online. Look for it.
On Alex Jones? Where is this
Look
proof?
for it.
On Alex Jones? On Breitbart?
Start asking questions. You should need to.
This dude's gonna hit
I
him.
want to educate myself. Wait, we're having a good talk here. All right, so there's proof.
Pussy.
Wait a minute. I just want to go through the rundown.
That
By
was the
way, there's
weakest
560
shit I've
of you
ever
watching right
heard.
now. If you're not a status
Very
quo member,
bad.
this is what you're paying for. This
Oh my
wonderful
God, that's
educational videos.
delusional.
So become a status quo member right now.
I understand, guys.
We are 10. Count them 10 members away.
I understand guys messing their words up, like using the wrong word in certain places, but just completely have the narrative ass backwards. Like, just no one, like, if he pulled Trump aside, Trump will say, oh, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Like, little simple things that have been established years later. Like, fuck. I think he's just justifying to himself why he went to war.
Probably. Oh, he's a dumbass.
Unless you want to
Fuck.
rely on CNN to cover these issues or cover the campaign, help us with $5 a month, $10 a month. You could also
That was one of the. That was
That
probably
was bad.
Yeah.
$79 annually.
Yeah, guys, go support Jordan Sheridan for bringing you content like that.
Even though we were denied credentials
Go sub to his channel, go donate or whatever.
Not access to the candidates.
Yo.
Our model is not access to the DNC.
We're on
That was the case.
status
We'd be sucking
coup.
up and doing favors for them like every other corporate journalist. Our model
Right there.
is access to the people. That's not a bumper sticker. That is truly it.
Go sub to his channel.
When I go to cover these things, 9 times out of 10, there's no other national media at them. So that's why we're out here. We really hope you'll consider becoming a member. Again, statuscoup.com/ I'm with her. She said it's absolute fucking ridiculous. Statuscoup.com/
Punk rock.
join. And we want to do much more of this. We want to do much more of this on the campaign trail. And a lot of these videos, trust me, can go viral, but we got to have the money to go out. So statuscoup.com/join, $5 a month or $10 a month
What?
or $179 annually.
'Cause-
So let me get back to it.
They like know how ridiculous. The chat knows how ridiculous that guy just sounded.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's embarrassing.
He don't like socialism, but
Like,
he agreed he-
find out who Jordan Sheridan and tell him to block your face out and shit, and
Yeah.
change your voice.
Which is also socialist. And by the way, I respect his service. That's all good and all. That's the disclaimer. But this guy is literally
Let's take
saying,
those two things one at a
"Do you have
time.
evidence that he did it?" That's like saying, do you have evidence that he didn't beat his wife? No. You have to have actual.
I'm dead, son.
What country didn't have weapons of mass destruction?
War is supposed to be a last resort.
Like, imagine he just comes. He just walks.
Is your
back.
camera fake? Is this fake?
Is this? Is this video fake?
The problem is,
It's like, what?
That's you got to find that Earl Spence, right?
Yeah.
Like, the United States only goes to war when it has to. The United States creates war because it has to. Because the United States is
Propaganda wants us to go to rallies like that and ask questions.
And by the way, you know, I
I'm not-
agree that
I am
after
not-
9/11 we should have responded. The right response,
I'm
in
open to
my
that.
view, was a limited response to Afghanistan.
We should fundraise to have Tim Pool do it so he can get embarrassed. Have him go to like a progressive rally.
He's back.
I already talked to him.
I knew it.
No. You wait. So you already bolted. You already bolted.
No. Now hold on. Look. Let's be honest. Based on both your conversations, you both walked off, and y'all was just trying to have a conversation.
Now you're brave, but you both walked off when I was trying to ask you questions.
Lecturing us on something that happened in the 1950s when you weren't even an afterthought in a hotel room, nonetheless. What would I like to talk about?
Got him.
I'd like to talk about why we have to pay
Free ice cream.
40% in taxes every week, so these morons over here can drink beer and smoke dope.
Let me ask you guys something.
Fucking.
Yeah, why?
There's nothing
Right? Hey, let me ask you, how come we're not drug testing? How come we're not drug testing welfare recipients in this country?
Hey, I agree with you. Why aren't we drug testing Goldman Sachs? Why aren't we drug testing Raytheon? The true welfare. Why aren't we drug testing the corporations, sir? Why are we drug testing? Well, wait a minute.
Those are things you gotta ask mad calmly.
Wait a minute.
Oh, so like
You
these
wanna
companies that we
you
bailed
You
out?
want to drug test the ice cream. You want to drug test the guys at the ice cream stand, but you don't want to drug test Raytheon or Goldman Sachs.
Really selling ice cream, or are they selling like a medical marijuana?
Assuming that he's on welfare. Is that what you're saying?
He just said those people are smoking dope.
That shirt, man.
He didn't say that they were.
Because you haven't answered one question yet for me, right? Okay. Are you on welfare?
No.
Okay, but do you pay taxes?
Yes.
Okay, how much of your paycheck do you pay in taxes every week?
Probably 15 to 20%, maybe a little more.
No, you don't pay 15 to 20%. You pay more like 35 to 45% of your taxes every week. That's what you pay, okay? And the reason you're paying it,
Have you seen my tax stub?
that's what everyone pays, okay? I don't even.
Agreed,
That's
howdy
not
doody.
what- That's not
He's
what
like-
everybody. But that's not what everybody pays. That's not that. But that's not what everybody pays. You know how much Amazon pays?
Raytheon.
0. You know how much Goldman Sachs pays? Next to
Like,
0.
dude, someone's gonna punch you.
They're smart. Are you chastising them?
They're smart.
And
They're smart.
Accountants, unlike you and me.
That's not smart. That's called corrupt. That's not
I'm
smart.
bent out of shape.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You get pissed off. You walk
You
off.
guys walked away. I'm not pissed off at all.
You're not making any points.
But wait a minute.
You're not
You
making
told
any
me
points.
That the problem is your tax money is going to pay for people to smoke dope and whatever. Right. So that's Republican Ronald Reagan bullshit. So let's get to the.
Ronald Reagan bullshit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I see it with my own 2 eyes. Maybe we shouldn't curse on TV. That's not appropriate, okay? All right.
Oh.
But now listen, maybe
It's his TV
I
show.
really have to, okay? But I can
I'm
tell
waiting for your point on the booming economy. I want to hear about this booming economy.
booming economy depends on you. It means you got to roll up your sleeves. It means you got to go out there. You got to get a job. Okay, you got to try hard. If you can't get a job, you have to start
To get a job at all these places with robots and all
Can't get a job, start a business. It's like,
You can start this
But
and
for
how are you gonna
Latinos,
fund this?
Lowest unemployment rate for African Americans.
Latinos and African Americans love their work at Burger King, McDonald's.
Coal
and-
mines.
No, those are the facts. Most.
Democrats are becoming the racist.
He's not interrupting me.
But you're stating things that aren't factual. You're stating things that aren't factual. Do you think?
It slipped. He let it slip.
Look it up.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Lowest unemployment rate for Asian
For Asian.
Say that again.
I don't know. A lot of African Americans are in very powerful positions. What they earn more than what I do, or maybe what he earns a lot.
Don't let this man raise.
and then you add an olive to the salad.
That's why.
Look at the dad.
No one brought up race. We talked to you for 30 minutes and no race. Come on now. Talk statistics, dog. We're talking.
You know what?
Trump and all the black and Hispanic people working.
Wait. Can I ask you guys a question? Hey, wait. There, I want to be fair here. I want to be fair. So wait. You're talking about. Yeah. Wait.
It sucks.
You respect your mother. You
Oh, shit.
respect your mother, your daughter, your sister, your family. Huh? Trump said was like, I grab female body.
What?
Let me ask you something.
Female
right?
buttocks.
Have you ever touched a female body? I mean, you're kind of young, right? But have you ever grabbed a female body? I could
Against her will?
This is the thing.
Against her.
Well, that you haven't proven that. He never said.
He said I grab women by the pussy.
You're a liar.
He said it on tape.
It's not against her.
Oh, who cares about
You
this
grab
shit?
other people once in a while, and it's that, haven't you? Well, maybe you haven't had a woman.
Can I just ask you a question, sir? Can I ask you a
He's
question?
such
If
a
man
heel.
says, I
He's
grab-
just
know.
playing a
I grab
heel.
her- Wait a minute. Do you say if a man says I grab her by the pussy?
What?
You saying that's not against her will?
Let me explain something to you. My woman.
He said I grab him by the pussy.
What it say?
They don't even.
What?
More guys is they got Hitman talking to
Lucky woman.
She said, hey,
That's funny.
what you doing
talking
over
about
there?
taxes.
Have a nice night.
Pussy.
Oh, hey.
So, in a matter of the last half hour, I've been told by a bald
Did
white
I-
guy that it's fine to grab
Huh?
women
Did
by
I-
the genitals.
Did I
and
not
the
say that
pussy.
guy would fucking run back?
I've been told by an old guy that socialism
I watch
is
him come
dirty,
back.
But his socialism, Social Security, is fine.
All I heard
I've
was
been told by
repeating
a Marine
Donald Trump victory points. Let's call them
Yeah.
victory points.
Yeah.
The economy, black jobs.
Asians. Asians.
Bring up foreign policy. It's like, oh well, you never know, man. Dude, everyone got weapons of mass destruction.
Is this video fake?
Are you real? You robot? How am I supposed to know that?
PTSD from this nonsense. So these people just said that, oh, African American unemployment is at its lowest, and Latino unemployment is its lowest, and all you should do is go get a job. Well, guess what? A lot of the fast
Here he comes. Here he comes back.
Oh, you're back. How you doing? Ooh, is that a Cuban cigar?
See a ringer, son?
Oh, okay.
George's like, you can act like this or go get people.
Okay, sign the petition. So, what are you feeling? I've been told socialism is bad unless they have it.
We have a free Laura Loomer shirt.
But he likes his Social Security, which is socialism. So, what is the tyranny that's going to come with healthcare for all, education for all, and better climate
This ought to be
change
good.
policies?
All right, the way you want to package socialism, you could say it's democratic socialism, but you know what? Socialism at the end of the day is still communism's kissing cousin. So what you have in there is the democratic Nazi convention. Oh, but it's not the same kind of Nazi. It's democratic.
We're not talking about the Democratic Party. What we're talking about, but Trump is for socialism just for corporations.
Who says? For corporations, no, he's for America.
Wait, who pays? Wait a minute. Who pays the tax cuts for the corporations? Who pays the tax cuts for the corporations?
What taxes? Listen, you're probably making more money now than you were before, aren't you?
No.
No, then I don't know. Maybe you got to rework on your resume or something there, because everybody's doing a lot better. The
What
economy's
the
doing a lot
fuck,
better.
man?
Unemployment is lowest.
So 40.
You're just Trump talking
Oh
to us.
my god.
40% of America in poverty, majority living paycheck to paycheck. About 27 million without health care. That's doing better.
Where are you getting this fuzzy math from? Are you really fixing your math?
Where are you getting your math from? Fox News or Breitbart?
I don't watch TV.
So where are you getting your numbers from?
I get my numbers online and I search it up and I take everything with a grain of salt and I research it.
So let me tell you, and I mean that. I mean this respectfully. In the last 2 years, no, excuse me, the last 3 years, I've been to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois. I've been to Washington State. I've been to California. I've been to Washington D.C. I've been to Texas. I've been to Alabama. I've been to a lot of places, sir. So I have eyes. He's been with me for a lot. Let me tell you, the strong trend in America is low-wage work, freelance work without benefits, and people living paycheck to paycheck. That is what you're calling the booming economy. There's another trend, and then I'll let you respond, exploding homelessness because people are being priced out of their communities because in Miami, for example, the politicians are giving real estate
Agreed.
developers free reign to do whatever the hell they want because real estate developers are buying off the politicians. That's not a talking point, that's a fact. So we're looking at an unemployment number
Little
that is
sneak
low,
jab.
in large part because a lot of people have stopped looking for work. In between all of this is automation, where
He's schooling the fuck out of him right now.
Yeah.
people. So the booming economy you're talking about, most people watching don't feel it. So tell me what I'm missing.
We don't want
I
your
understand what
tyranny.
you're saying. You touched on a lot of points there. Kind of hit me with a machine gun.
You read facts?
Machine gun of mouth, right?
No, that's data and facts.
No, let me speak. I let you speak. You went off, right? Okay. I agree with you that in a lot of different places, there's a lot of
Agreed, Muhammad.
the economy's
Agreed,
not
Judd.
very stable, but it's coming around. Manufacturing jobs are coming back. A lot of that stuff.
Agreed, howdy doody.
I hate to tell you, because maybe it was, your favorite, the Muslim son of a commie whore that you really have such love for.
You say Muslim son?
You don't know?
The Muslim son of a commie whore?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know who that is? The Muslim son of a commie whore. Number 44. You don't know.
So, sir, can I tell you? You're a racist bigot. You're a racist bigot.
Calling it out the truth? Is it wait.
Oh no.
I don't like President Obama's policies, but he was born in Hawaii. This is
But
wait a
the
minute.
son of a Muslim, right? And
So
his
what?
father was
So
a
what?
whore.
You know
Like
that-
the rest of his family.
So is the Muslim that Donald Trump has in his administration, is he a commie whore too?
Wait, don't get upset and your panties in a bunch because I spoke bad about Obama. But he's gone.
You're speaking poorly about Muslims. You're speaking poorly about Muslims because you're a bigot. Go on. You're a bigot.
You know what I am? I'm not you.
Right, you're a bigot, and I'm not.
You're not letting me speak either, because as I'm getting my points across, and then you didn't like what I was saying.
Yo, block these guys' faces out, man.
You're a bigot.
Well, going back to what we were talking about, and I know you're going to edit the hell out of this, and that's
Nope. No need to.
I can't edit it. So
Technicolor here in Miami.
He didn't know it was live.
No.
So.
He's like, oh shit.
I can call you. I'm a racist. Okay, because I'm to the right of Karl Marx. Because that's what you guys.
No, you just.
He didn't know he was live and just got caught.
You just called the first black president. You just called the first black president a commie Muslim.
How is he racist when our friends are black?
You call your black friends Muslim commie whores?
Dude.
He said the truth. What is your problem? Because you love Obama? Is that the problem?
No offense to Florida, but this is so Florida. No offense. This is so Florida.
No. I really wanted him to do well. Honestly, I really wanted him to do well.
Boy, has your tune changed.
Something like that to happen. We needed to rock the whole foundation of the whole political thing. I didn't vote for him.
His best friend is an Afro-Cuban. Why would you even...
Listen, wait.
My best friend, my friends, wait.
You know,
because he is one. That's what I'm saying.
No. Mind you. I was backing Maida Jolie, who is an immigration attorney here in Miami, has her own office. Okay, mind you, she is a black female from Dominican Republic. Okay, and is a friend of mine.
Holy shit.
My girlfriend was her campaign manager, and you're gonna call me a racist. But okay, if that's the narrative you want to follow, because I don't partake to the circus of the Democratic Party.
You're just a birther. That's fine. Go ahead.
Just making shit up.
Birther. That's what you were referring to.
I can call you a lot of things, but I'm not.
This guy's not doing so well.
Yeah.
I didn't make the comment.
Yeah, they're struggling.
We were saying the economy is coming back. Trump did find the magic wand, and there is
the magic wand.
Oh,
you agree with me that you agree with me on all the things I said.
Not all the things you said. I agreed on certain things where in some areas the economy is depressed because things had.
Economy is depressed because
America. Look at Detroit.
Because companies
Detroit
have
was
left
a
America.
roaring economy with lots of car manufacturing, lots of stuff going on. And what they do?
What, in the fucking 60s?
Sure, I've been to Detroit in the last 6 months. The plants aren't coming back. General Motors laid off 15,000 people. President Trump told the people during 2016, don't move out of Lordstown, Ohio. I'm going to keep GM there. The plants are not coming back. This is not reality, what you're saying. I have seen it. I have seen it.
Let me ask you something. Who are you going?
Yeah, he should clip this.
Bernie Sanders.
Fucking thing.
That's it. I got nothing to say.
Oh, he's pussying out.
Socialism doesn't go with me.
How old are you?
I want to ask. Say.
Are you on Social Security?
Right, your face.
Wait. Are you on Social Security
or not?
Do you masturbate once a day or twice a day?
Yeah, once a week. But are you on Social Security?
Once a
He confused
You're on
him.
Social Security because you don't want to answer the question, which is a socialist program. That's what I thought. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So he is on Social Security, which is a socialist program.
Bullshit. I'm in no Social Security, fool. So why are you accusing me of being on something I am not?
Wait a minute.
Wait. No.
Well, you don't want to answer. You don't want to answer the question.
Touching.
You don't want to answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You're not. It's fine.
Say what you want, I don't care.
Okay, so that's fine. So, please do.
Oh god.
This is sad, man.
Yo,
this
bully.
is so sad.
My bad. Bubba Ray Dudley's about to bring one of his book.
Fantastic. So basically.
Oh, a proud boy.
Dude, this is gold. Oh, he's coming back.
No.
More.
Sure, I will. Sure.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. What you mean?
Black. We are not racist. So he says.
Hey, I got news for you. Wait a minute. You're aware that having a black friend doesn't mean you're not racist. You're aware of that, right?
Color is not in my spectrum, bro.
How you doing? Why do you tell me about what you like
supporting President Trump.
Candace Owens?
Well, see, like Malcolm X said.
I thought he had a gun on his fucking
that
side.
any black man that votes for a Democrat is a traitor to his race.
Malcolm X went back on a lot of fucking things he said. Elijah Muhammad was a creep.
The Black Lives Matter leader even said the same thing. So any black man that's out here supporting the Democrats,
God, this is
an
garbage.
absolute distracted.
I don't like the establishment Democrats. I'm asking, what has President Trump done for you?
Oh, you didn't ask me that at first. You said, well, what did I like?
I said, what do you like about Trump?
Oh, yeah, right. But what I like about Trump is first he got elected. That's the first thing I like about him. Second thing I like about him is that he's getting ready to put Hillary and all of the bastards that put 1.2 million black men in jail themselves.
Oh, he's not.
For being murderers.
Someone said it. Fox News watchers.
Hold on.
Fairness, that was
Hold
Bill
on.
Clinton. But yeah, you're right about that.
Bill Clinton and Hillary, she was the one that said black people are predators, but they don't see that.
Judd
She was
said
the one
that.
said she
Fucking
used to
Fox
have
News
black
watch.
slaves in Arkansas in the governor's mansion. I got on camera saying that with 40 black men standing behind her with jail outfits on as if there was no white people in jail in Arkansas.
You think President Trump has been strong on race?
He's been beautiful on race because
you hear the Central Park Five?
Yeah.
I meant to tell you about that.
You want me to answer?
I know
You want me to
about that
answer?
already.
What he
Here's
said.
my answer to that.
What Trump said?
Obama
Yeah.
got in, he let every East Indian, Arab, and Pakistani who sold drugs to the black men who were selling drugs over here in America. He let them go.
no.
And they were also murdering black people. He let them out of Gitmo. He didn't let one black man out like Larry Hoover, Big Meech, Tim Brown, Rick Brownlee. He didn't let none of them out. He didn't let Boom out. He didn't let out none of them. So Trump gets in. Trump gets in, and what does he do? He passes the Prison Reform Act. Now Bo Diddley, one of the biggest drug dealers, is out. Now you got Boom, which is my brother. He's out. I go to the halfway house, and all of the brothers who was in jail that Trump let out, the CEO said, hey man, that's the brother that helped Trump get y'all out. And they all said, blacks for Trump, yeah.
Are you talking about the First Step Act?
No, the Prison Reform Act says, yeah, or First Step Act.
I think that was a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Where was Obama on that? Hillary and Trump and Hillary and...
This is when you let them know I'm not a Obama guy.
But I was asking what...
You said what's good about it? You said what's good about it?
He talked about the Central Park Five. Now listen to the question that he said.
I was talking about...
You're talking that Trump is not racist, and we're talking about what he put out and what he's doing now.
All of my brothers who got out of jail, who did not deserve to be there, that's what I'm talking about.
What about the Central Park Five?
2 million black men in jail. That's what I'm against. I'm answering the question the way I answer it. The Central Park Five, I really didn't study them or find out what they did or didn't do. So I
Jeez,
cannot
man.
respond to that. But I can respond to the fact
He's doing the best out of
that he
everyone.
let out black
Not gonna
men
lie.
Still
out
not
of
good.
jail when that bastard Obama put us in jail and kept us there. You know, so I don't want to hear all of that. He's nothing but a traitor to his race. And any Obama, I want me to get it clear. Obama, cross out with everything.
but we agree. But we agree about that. Okay. So all right. So let's.
You support who? The Democrat?
Who do I support? I support Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, who's the Cherokee Indian who had us in slavery, of course.
Bernie Sanders, what? Cherokee Indian?
He says he is his wife.
You were doing so good.
What are you talking about?
You were doing all right.
No, you're talking about Elizabeth Warren.
No, Bernie Sanders, I'm talking about him, sir. You just don't know.
Talking about Elizabeth Warren.
Okay, but Bernie Sanders is a communist and a socialist, which means give all our money to them when they're supposed to be paying tribute to America. Our brothers are on the
You don't mind corporate wealth. You don't mind the corporate welfare.
People on the street who are Vietnam vets, black men, but then they want to let all of them in from other countries to get in and get free housing.
Why do you think your black friends are on the street?
Because of Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Did it have anything to do with Republicans and Democrats selling the jobs offshore? Could it have anything to do with them giving corporations subsidies, tax cut?
Yo, he got punched in the face. he got punched in the face.
That dude was doing all right until he's like,
Until that
the
happened.
Cherokee, whatever.
Cherokee shit.
And then they don't have shit to say about Bernie Sanders other than
Dude, that was
the
bad.
communist. He's a socialist.
I'm not racist. My friend's black.
Let me refresh, see what happened.
My friend's black. I'm not racist.
Hope his battery didn't die or something. Or whatever. I don't know
Yo,
how they're filming.
Dude, I hope Bubba Ray, I hope he does well in life. You know? God damn, dude.
I'm refreshing now, see what happens.
Dudley Boys.
Yeah, shit got cut.
Dude,
It'll probably come back.
That was bad.
That was hilarious. Battery died.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That dude got put through a table. They did the 3D. Which one bet?
Fuck out of
Which
here.
one bet they did the 3D? You find out the Dudley Boys are real. They're real, man.
People are saying he got sniped. I don't think so. I think it's just... They're probably still going and not realizing the camera, like...
Oops.
The camera's like, this is too stupid.
Oh, no.
Should have left me at
I'd
home.
record that. I'd record that.
Talking about camera intelligence here, James. Okay.
Don't
Let me
yell
read a
at me.
couple of these.
Don't yell at me.
Howdy do says, damn, I can't name all the people I know of any race. That dude behind the sign looks like Wilson from Home Improvement. Who's Wilson? Is that the dude behind the fence? Right?
Yeah.
Propaganda. IT got there, boys. I don't know. Jordan just had back surgery. That sucks. Judd Hurst. These are conversations I would expect in a low-class bar just before close. I mean, this is utterly amazing that so much stupid can fit in such a small place between these people's ears.
That's bad.
Howdy doody. He didn't let out. All the names he's naming off. Little G's. Big Tony Cat from Fifth Avenue. Waka Flocka from Ngannou's training camp. Dandy ignorance. Says howdy doody. Yeah, I'm guessing the battery died. Howdy doody. New tagline. Bernie Sanders is Native American. Propaganda. Fuck, that was weird. Jordan knows where the heat is. Yeah, just close your eyes and start walking in Florida. No offense to Florida.
I remember now. Used to say shit in high
He was
school.
in the event earlier causing shit.
Used to say this before Cody would go up to hit and shit. I think I'm Big Beach Larry.
Oh, he's talking about big name drug dealers or something.
But Cody, right? He was like the fucking tallest kid on the team. So he used to just say that every time.
Meh.
Oh, that was just bad. Like, really bad.
Hopefully he comes back. Be paying attention to that. Maybe check out what the debate channels do.
I like how Tulsi Gabbard's in the back.
It's looming. Thank you, Owen Parkin. What is it? Owen Parkin. Gotcha.
This shows an insulted intelligence of humans.
Probably shitting on us, actually.
Probably.
You guys don't vote for Trump.
Wisconsin,
Fuck.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, by a combined total of about 75,000 votes.
We'll let this dumb shit play until Jordan Sheridan comes back, hopefully. We got like a half hour till the debates start.
At least on paper. You flip those states where Trump's margin was the narrowest, those states that had been voting Democratic before 2016, you flip them back, you win the Electoral College if everything else stays the same. So that's the most direct path for Democrats, at least on paper. But hey, things can change over the course of a few years. There are other states to be keeping an eye on as well. I'll give you an example. Perfect one right here. Florida. We always talk about Florida, right? Remember Florida from back.
Maybe put your shit up. Your shit's gonna do better than my fucking tablet does.
Surprise on election night. I think the Clinton campaign had been feeling decent about Florida, but Trump pulled out Florida in 2016.
Actually, I'm thinking about putting that on screen instead. Joe Rogan and Abby Martin.
Democrats can flip Florida, just given the size.
Let me know if you're okay with that, guys. Abby Martin and Joe Rogan. Put that shit up on the screen.
Oh, you mean that? What do you want me to do? Turn this off?
No, I mean, put it up on our...
Yell at me.
Back up here.
Okay. Whatever you
right
want.
there.
Whatever you want.
And then pull up the chat on that thing.
Sound like a command.
Propaganda. I thought a gun may come out. Fuck.
I don't know about that.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, maybe he got drop kicked or something. the same dude that drop kicked Schwarzenegger just showed up.
I thought that one dude was gonna hit him when he realized.
That old dude?
He got flustered and realized he was live.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, they're gonna edit this out."
Like, no.
And he's like, "No, we're live, man."
Yeah.
He's like, "But yeah, keep calling me racist."
Are you on Social Security?
Listen, buddy. How do you?
That's why you need to do like Shaq, who just does this shit. Hey, you gonna fuck with this guy?
Muay Thai. Those are arguments where you want to stun gun someone between the eyes. Just hit him right in the third eye, right in the pineal gland. Make him rethink life. Howdy doody. I hope Jordan does this at the other debates too. Check out the stupid in our states. Yeah.
The stupid in our states.
Propaganda you were watching earlier. Listen here. All right. Propaganda you were watching the debates earlier. Was he on the Biden side? Because, you know. I'm sure there's smarter sounding stupid, not Biden, but Democratic establishment type people. Did he talk to them? Because they have smarter sounding stupidity, if you ask me.
I wish Jimmy Dore did this shit, man.
Yeah. Where am I at? Propaganda's gonna keep an eye on it. I'm pretty sure they're hitting up a wall for a charge.
Not working, son.
Oh, the chat's not even coming in? Fuck. Muhammad says Abby Martin was very good on JRE. Yeah, we're gonna check that shit out. Propaganda. You should look into getting a NVIDIA Shield tablet. It is meant for streaming. If I get some sort of gaming tablet or some sort of gaming system, computer type thing, you will never see it. You'll never see me again. I'll be gaming 24/7 here in Alaska. $300, not a bad price. Muhammad says, I was worried Joe Rogan didn't understand the Palestinian oppression. Rogan's weird because like he waits for the guest who's an expert on that topic before he starts talking about it out loud. It's like, dude, are you like secretly studying things and then are you just trying to impress your guests?
Rogan? I don't know
It's very weird.
I don't know what his
like Alex Jones or hate Alex Jones, he brought that up. He's like, you know about this already. Why are you sitting here listening like you'd have no clue? And Rogan just falls back on, I'm an idiot. I don't know anything. It's very weird.
Rogan is basically fucking Johnny Carson. He's the new Johnny. Really?
A little bit more than that, but he is a quasi late night host type guy.
That's what he is. He's like, I'm just kind of I'm in the middle here. I don't know. I don't know.
They come back.
I don't
Damn
like
it, Jordan
man.
Sheridan.
I don't like it.
Damn it. Alright, I'll get this fucking Joe Rogan shit popping off.
It's like, dude, you had Abby Martin on, you had Tulsi Gabbard on, you had Jimmy Dore on, you know.
Secular talk.
How come you don't ask Steven Crowder, or he's probably gonna have him on eventually.
Yeah, he stays in their lane.
Yeah.
Whoever it is he's talking to,
Yeah.
he stays right in their lane.
He doesn't challenge him. Doesn't ask him any questions. You know.
Yeah. Like Colbert's been more challenging to candidates.
Yeah.
It's more in a smear way. Same thing with The View. It's in a smear type way, but they're still challenging.
Mm-hmm.
All right, propaganda. When you have no argument, you always gotta resort to fighting. Judd Hurst. The constantly confused Rogan combined what's always sharp and sassy Abby Martin excellence. Yeah, Abby's dope. Propaganda. No, it was a Green New Deal march, and then he was like, "Whoa, look over there." Propaganda. Jimmy has a bone disease. He would get punched and die.
Really?
Not good. Yeah, I think he does.
Jesus, man.
I think he had really bad back problems or something.
He can just. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying for him to walk around, but he could just sit somewhere, you know. At least set up a stage or whatever. I don't know.
Muay Thai. Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that sausage pizza. Fuck.
He probably has, though.
Propaganda. Yeah, he is closet smart. I hate Rogan, though. He has nothing but time to research.
Oh, he tried to say, I don't have time. I'm like, yeah, you fucking do. You just don't give a fuck. You don't care. It's all good.
Judd Hurst. The corporate side will just sound like willful ignorance, whereas the Trump side is unfortunate ignorance. But I bet that Trump side's a lot more entertaining. That was entertaining as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. That shit should be trending. no lie. That shit should be trending #1. Propaganda. Trisha Rahapior. I probably fucked that up. On Twitter is so hot. She is my new Tulsi. Oh, we follow each other now. Thank you, Propaganda. You set up that meeting, that business meeting. Joe Swartz says Rogan has been on every side of every issue. Yeah. It's like whoever's the guest on, he just stays in that lane.
Not always. The only and it's kind of like
the Crowder marijuana thing.
Yeah, unless you're against, like, he'll challenge you if you're against DMT, marijuana, MMA, or just simple social stuff. You know what I'm saying? The simple social issues. You know, shallow, little, fucking easy ideas that are like, oh, you know, I mean, of course you shouldn't kill someone.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but like, no shit. Yeah, Sam Harris on? No. Let's just gaze into his eyes and just become astounded. Like,
Muay Thai says Rogan took human growth hormone to grow taller, and the only thing that grew was his head and hands. As
you ever seen those
Owen
pictures?
Benjamin will say, toe Rogan.
You ever seen those pictures of when he was younger? But he was just, oh yeah, I was on full-on steroids right here. I was like, what the fuck? It was insane.
All right, let's play some of this Abby Martin, Joe Rogan interview.
Are you gonna go back?
Just pick a random spot. Let him start talking. Fuck it.
The social consciousness and you know what you're talking about, I think, is honestly just to make more money.
Well, I'm sure they're going to make more money in the process of doing this, but the idea that they're going to engineer a city to me is terrifying.
That's insane.
I don't like it. You know, there was a great podcast that Sam Harris did with the guy who was explaining what Google has essentially done.
What I just say?
What they've done with data. The data is essentially a commodity that we didn't know was a commodity, and we all gave up our rights to this commodity. And this commodity turns out is worth billions and billions of dollars, and no one had any idea. And they just took it, and now they have it. And they have it for, and what are they giving you for this?
Right.
They let you search things? Like, what are they giving you for this? They let you use their email? Like,
Yeah, it's a new one.
It's kind of crazy. They search
Last
your
night.
email for certain keywords, and all of a sudden, you know, you're looking for a patio chair. And like, I'm looking to buy a patio chair, and all of a sudden your fucking Google mentions are filled with patio chairs because you sent an email to a friend.
Really creepy. Or just talk about something and it
Talk
just,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
I said that.
My guest yesterday.
Remember I said that shit?
Yeah.
It's like, when I start saying things out loud, all of a sudden it shows up in my ads.
A text message that said, "Hey, I hear you're looking to trade in your car.
So
You know, here's a link as to what you could get for it." And he goes, "I'm not clicking that fucking link." Like a text message with a link showed up on his phone because of something he was talking about. He wasn't even talking on the phone. That's crazy.
Really, really scary.
It's fucking.
Dude. Oh, did you watch the Corbett video? Did you watch the Corbett video where he's talking about like Alexa starting the backlog?
No, what?
Because of the way people speak, and now it's just collecting everything you're saying, basically.
Really?
Because it was like, originally you'd have to be like, Alexa, turn on the TV.
Oh, no, I know that, yeah.
And now, but people just speak normally.
Yeah.
Like, can you turn on the TV, Alexa? So it can't pick up the initial sentence until you say Alexa's name.
Yeah.
So now they're like, oh, we improved it by covering all language that's being spoke all the time.
Oh, no.
So that Alexa doesn't get confused.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, fuck.
Creepers. I've never had one in my fucking house.
Nah.
Ever.
And I'm assuming it applies to, like, was it Google Home or what? All that shit?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Alexa, tell me how much I can... No worries. I read your mind. You can get your soul for $3 million.
Propaganda.
You just read it right here, dude. Right here. Right here. Right there you go.
Propaganda. Abby shit on me when I asked her to be interviewed on Unity for Jay. She called me a fascist sympathizer. I hated her for months. Are you trolling? Maybe. I don't know.
I wonder.
Eleanor Goldfield was cool, though. She wrote poem on my request.
Right back.
Yeah. Amazon having contracts. Oh, you mean the Pentagon? Yeah, it might as well be the CIA.
Oh, Corbett had a nice little video.
Yeah.
And secular talk too. Just like a year and a half ago.
Propaganda. I won't go in a person's house with a smart box thing. Too late, your phone. Right? And they basically make you buy upgrades, don't they? Like they just stop working after a while because a new upgrade came out. Big sister Alexa says Ruben Garcia. Oh, you got screenshots. God damn it, Abby Martin. She's too fierce. Too much fire. I'm really upset about this Jordan Sheridan thing being cut. That sucks. Someone's going to be in trouble. That cameraman's going to be in trouble. Fuck. She was being a fucking asshole to me. Ruben says, Krabby Martin. Propaganda says, yeah, I have a flip phone. And keep the battery out. Alright. Let's get back to this fucking Rogan shit.
No, that's
What is happening?
terrifying.
How does that happen? Does anyone know how that happens?
Right.
Like if you and I were talking right now, and you said, I need a new laptop, and you started getting laptop ads in your Google feed, what is happening? Is your phone listening to you say that?
Yeah. Yep.
I was just like,
I mean,
yeah,
it
of course.
comes through everything. I mean, that's what's so fucking scary
And
about it.
Apple is the best at it in terms of like not giving up your data. It's one of the reasons why I still use an iPhone and support Apple. Apple goes out of their way to not share your data when you use Maps. That's why Apple Maps suck. It's one of the reasons why it's not good. There was a fucking great article that was written about it. They called Apple Maps the Bing of navigation tools. It's like, you know, Bing, the search engine for who the fuck uses that? I use a Windows laptop. I don't use Bing.
Joe Estrogen.
Because Google's better. Right, so you just go automatically use it. But
Status Quo needs more money for an upgraded live
going
thing.
Back to this whole like tech censorship thing.
Probably.
They preemptively.
He's probably used to that
Young
Young Turks money.
To me, is that there wasn't even a law. You know, like China, we all know that China censors the internet. we've done the same thing here, but people just think that we still have, freedom of information, that we can all access all these things. No, I mean, Google,
I want to hear more about foreign policy than this shit.
Is owned by Google now, but they preemptively changed the algorithms. They backpaged all of this progressive media, independent media. So it wasn't just about what they're saying. It's about, I mean, this was targeted to basically all extreme views. Everything that they felt like was too radical. I mean, going back to the DNI report, which is where this all started from, this kind of conclusive report that they said these 17 intelligence agencies, here's all the evidence of how Russia colluded and cost the election for Hillary. They cited my show on Breaking.
Wow, that's really paranoid. I have a computer, but I don't carry it around with me, and a tablet, but I do take it on trips.
I just did what Putin told me to do, man.
Ruben Garcia, Book of Genesis.
But in the
Propaganda. I try to limit their reach.
Radical discontent.
Gotta be paranoid sometimes. Me, I don't give a shit, man. But I understand that people do get paranoid. Judd Hurst, my Google Home and my Alexa are strictly for my 5-year-old son to play with while I'm gone. When I come home, they're unplugged. Just throwing your son to the wolves like that? How dare you? Propaganda. Yeah, Status Quo is fundraising so they can be on the ground. So they can be on the ground with people.
And that's why I know it's not a liberal or conservative thing. It's literally
people should go support Status Quo. And their Flint documentary. Did that shit come out? Propaganda? Please let me know.
That's what they said this was about. These websites sow discord, Joe. I mean, I thought that was a
Ruben Garcia, Silicon tech giants are very involved with foreign policy now. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Talking about DMT, but talked about aliens. Yeah, we're talking about who the fuck we wanted. But because I talked about things like inequality and Occupy Wall Street and Hillary Clinton, that was all part of this grand conspiracy to sow discord on behalf of the Russian government. So it becomes very comical once you kind of poke at the.
She needs to school him on this whole Russia shit right now. I want to hear this.
She was on my podcast and she detailed what the IRA did, the Internet Research Agency did in Russia. And it was really fascinating. They had set up like a fake Black Lives Matter account, and then they would talk about how, as Black Americans, we can't vote for Hillary Clinton because of this. And they started, they developed these communities, these really large online pages, whether it was on Facebook or...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe.
Whatever it was, where they spoke as like a Southern separatist. Or as a Muslim. Yeah, I mean, they had dozens of them. And they developed these communities. And they would set up these...
That's a late live feed.
And then they would have events where they had one where they had a Texas secession event directly across the street from a Muslim pride event. And they did it on purpose so that they would fight. They put them across the street from each other. They organized these Facebook pages and these events. And then these people show up. These people that are Texas said, we should leave the union, we can't, Texas is a republic. And then they have these other people online, they want like Muslim rights and they want the Sharia law, and they put them right next to each other. Yeah. And they're literally engineering argument, and they're engineering fighting. And
look at the glee on Rogan's face. He like wants the Russian thing to be a real thing.
They wanted arguments. They wanted to fuck with our democracy, and that they could shift.
Please school this motherfucker, Abby Martin.
Having these arguments by pretending that they're there for LGBTQ rights, but they're really not. But they're really just some Russians who just, talking shit. And that this is what we need to do. We need to radicalize. They had Antifa.
I mean, Israel and Saudi Arabia do the same thing, except way more dramatic. Yeah, so I think that it's fascinating that we just focus on Russia when, my God, this is happening on every front. I mean, look at going back to Pete Buttigieg. I don't know how you say his name, but he has like hundreds
Booty
of
Judge.
accounts that are all like propping each other up on Twitter. Oh my God, I just saw.
Say it again.
It's like
Booty
Blacks for
judge.
Pete Buttigieg, gays for Pete Buttigieg. It's like all these
Booty
his- I mean, I guess he
judge.
thought that
Judge
that
of
was,
the
I don't know,
booty.
injected with corporate money, that he's just like, all right, make 100 sock puppet accounts. It's
Oh,
like
dude.
everyone does this shit, but when we focus in on just Russia, and then of course you have the removal of Syrian accounts, you have the removal of pro-Maduro accounts on Twitter. Why is it only that we're talking about our so-called enemies, that these are the people who are sowing discord and fomenting radical discontent? What about all the other countries that, we do it all over the world? What about all the other countries that are doing the same thing?
So if he really does have these sock puppet accounts that are doing this, that are pretending that these are just fans, that's
for sure they do.
shit.
Yeah, it's sleazy as hell.
That's as sleazy.
I don't even
as
think
it
he
gets.
knows about it.
That's
Buttigieg,
You're pretending you're a person who's just an independent person who's supporting you.
probably Media Matters and
Who's there for some
Third Way,
And especially like the identity politics
Think
thing,
Progress,
all
whatever,
these
all these fucking
groups,
think tank
marginalized groups
fucking
supporting
places.
people.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
Well, the crazy
It's
thing is,
AstroTurf.
you saw that town hall after the shooting. The cop shot this
All right,
guy. And everyone said
propaganda. I just don't want them to make money off of me walking around.
Doesn't he have a job?
Howdy doody. I just use them all freely. There's no way to escape the singularity. Yeah, I agree. I'm just like, fuck it. But
I'm gonna go get Brian Callen. He's gonna
They brought a serial killer.
Yeah, just jump in the race.
Brian Callen from Joe Rogan Experience. Like, what? People are like, what the fuck is happening
It's
here?
like Bill de Blasio. It's like, you have a fucking city to run. Why are you running for president?
propaganda. No, they ended up getting a video deal for the movie. I think it's gonna drop during the election. People are more into learning about shit. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And he's been all over the Flint thing.
Meghan McCain.
Who has?
It really should be.
You should quit your fucking job, whatever you have, and dedicate.
Ruben Garcia, Joseph Rogan.
You could have that. First of all, everyone knows.
Howdy doody. Hey Joe, put some respect on my boy.
Let me see that, Jordan?
Yeah.
How can you do that and also be the mayor?
Oh, it's the same feed.
You just have to be on the phone begging for donations.
The video's behind, but the chat is good.
Robert O'Rourke is all over the country. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, there's no way you run that city rut.
And how fucking crazy are these people's egos?
Ruben Garcia, but doesn't Joe Rogan also defend pro-Trump people who don't believe in Russiagate either?
They all jump in the race because they think they're the smartest.
He's a
people in the world.
chameleon.
So it's like,
What can I
I
say?
mean, Bill de Blasio. It's like, really?
Listen
They're
to
polling
this.
so low. Drop
Oh,
out. Dude, this is all to try
at
to
the Yellow
prevent
Brick
Bernie.
Road.
It really is.
Who makes sense?
Who in the fuck is this
Bernie
Canadian
is my
looking
guy.
fuck?
Bernie's my guy through and through, and I'll tell you why. Because A, we need Medicare
That dude
for
looks
all.
like he
To
plants
abolish
cameras
the
in
debt,
women's
and that
public
shit, you just tax Wall
toilets.
Street gambling, it's done. Medicare for
Welcome
all,
to our
budget,
chat,
budget, done.
Joseph.
I don't want to live in a country where people are rationing insulin. I
Oh,
don't
listen to
wanna live
this
in a
next
country where
one.
half of the GoFundMe
At the Yellow Brick
campaigns are
Road.
because people are gonna die
Turn up
if
the
they don't
volume
get
on
donations
Rogan,
for
you
healthcare.
sexy pricks.
What is wrong with this
Flattery
country?
will get you nowhere,
But
sir.
back to Bernie. I mean, you look at the last 30 years of political advocacy. This is a guy who's
Real
been
quick.
saying the same thing for healthcare. What is wrong paying for rationing insulin?
Real
I
quick,
don't live in
guys.
a country where half of the GoFundMe campaigns are because people are going to die if they don't get donations for healthcare.
Devon?
Devon's journey to recovery. The GoFundMe link is down there. Perfect timing, Abby Martin. And thank you for talking about that, Abby Martin.
What is wrong with this country? But
Yeah.
back to Bernie. I mean, you look at the last 30 years of political advocacy.
What
this
up,
is a guy
Maddie?
Who's been saying the same thing for 30 straight years, no matter if it's veterans' rights, about Gulf War syndrome, about just a political revolution is needed. I mean, he's been talking about that since he won the Senate seat initially. And you can't really say the same thing about any other candidate. And I do like what Tulsi Gabbard is saying, and I do like some of the things Elizabeth Warren's saying, but it seems like she's just making it up on the fly and adopting kind of Bernie-like policies. And I think this is all a strategy to siphon all the delegates away from Bernie because
Maddie says, who
we
wants to
already know
bet
this
the
third
establishment
wave
got him?
corporate Wall Street
Rogan.
organization that's like corporate Democrats have said they want anyone but Bernie. Bernie is
Cigarette
the
butt,
biggest threat to the
booty
establishment
jud.
by far.
Did you see when Charlemagne called Elizabeth Warren the
Listen to this guy Maddie in the comments down here.
See, she's
Booty
not giving a
judge.
chance.
Time to shut him down, boys.
Shit. All Trump has to say is Pocahontas over and over again. and
What's
she's
hilarious
toast.
to me is they say Pocahontas is racist. It's a fucking Disney movie. How could Pocahontas be racist? How
Elizabeth
is it
Warren fucked up.
racist?
She really, really screwed up.
That's a big fuck up.
It's a really
and then
big screw up.
She wound up getting the DNA test. I am 200 times more African than she is Native American. I'm 1.6%
The ego of these
African.
people, man. The ego of these people. It's like she's just so upset that Trump.
Jedher says, show Rogan talking about the government is always embarrassing.
I mean, yeah, it's one thing to say I have Native American blood. It's another thing.
He truly believed the Russian narrative for some apparent reason
But I do know that she was, you know, that was on like
that I've
her
been able
Harvard
to discern.
bio and all this stuff, and it's just like, what is going on?
Well, James
What
did the
is
same
going
scam.
on?
James talked about it. He did.
Yeah, right here. James talked about it. Right
7
here.
minutes, guys.
He's with us right now. Tell him.
He thought he was. A lot of people thought he was. My wife thought she was. My wife thought she was part Native American.
See.
So she got her DNA done.
What the freak?
A bunch of fucking liars. You know what?
Elizabeth Warren's more Native American than my wife.
What? What?
What? Your stream has been temporarily blocked because we detected copyrighted audio and video.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Can they still hear us?
I don't know.
Herbert, ask them if they can hear us.
Chris, can you hear us? Say something in the comments if you can hear us. No. We not have copyright audio.
We didn't even play anything.
No.
Imagine they heard they heard a 50 Cent when I hit a home run, but it was so low.
I would not be surprised.
What the fuck? Why? Of course this happens now.
We didn't play
Fucking
anything.
OMG.
No, we didn't.
It was Status Quo we played.
Yeah.
And Rogan.
Yeah.
The freak?
So what the fuck?
No,
The stream's done?
like
The
it's
stream
dead.
unavailable.
Yeah, look.
Mother.
Oh my I'm Jimmy Dean, man. I hate black people.
Hey Jordan, do you understand YouTube's terms of service? No? Don't worry, neither does YouTube.
I'm checking everyone who's fucking streaming this shit right now.
Dude, what the fuck?
It says temporarily. What?
Temporarily? That could mean fucking anything.
Restart it. Restart the stream.
It says no content issues. What the freak? Your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright. What the freak?
You got fucking robots listening to us in real time. That's disturbing.
Let's see if we're back.
It's like
Oh, we're back.
it's like that face you make when you
What
find
the
out-
freak?
That face you make when you find out it's bullshit.
Wait, hold on. Zoom back in on that.
Oh, it's too late.
Damn it. I was gonna take a picture and put it in front of the camera for everybody.
Oh, they can't see it if you do that. They couldn't even see if you tried.
They blocked us for no reason. They
Yeah.
said, "Oh, sorry."
They blocked us for no reason. Oh, our bad. Our bad. Go ahead.
They're like, I'm sorry, that's not allowed. You're blocked. You're disqualified.
The freak. That's a little suspect right there.
It is
man.
no, not
That's
a little. That's fucking weird.
That is deeply
For-
suspect, good
What
sir.
the
They can hear
freak?
you if you're right there. They can hear you. They can hear you right. Yeah, it's fucking.
Sorry guys, YouTube doesn't like us. We got copyrighted for no reason.
Yeah, what do we do? Listen, Abby Martin has a Nike check. Abby Martin has a Nike check on the side of her dress, and she just turned over to itch
You
her
see,
back real fast. And
you see, if you look into the reflection in Abby Martin's eyes, you can clearly see. I can't see anything.
You can clearly see that Puma logo.
Actually, you know what it is? You know what it is? You look really carefully at Joe Rogan's scalp. You can see a reflection of the 3 Adidas stripes. That's what got us blocked, my boys.
Alright.
Details.
When the debates get started, I'm cheating, son. I'm waiting to watch any of these motherfuckers on YouTube broadcasting it. And be like, okay, it's safe now. 'Cause that's ridiculous.
What's this say?
Thank you, Garrett, for subscribing.
Everyone, Muay Thai, everyone go to How to Barbecue right on YouTube. That's the dude that they have with them. Ruben Garcia, who's the third guy? This is Brother Nero.
He knew I would come.
It's the one. Alright, I guess we gotta be careful, guys. I'm gonna wait and see if anyone else is, like, showing video. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's the fucking presidential debates. It's like, we need to make money off this, can't you see?
What the fuck did we do? Where?
Nothing.
Oh, is it... They see this? Oh, you
can't. It's the image, I bet.
Oh.
You have a picture on your screen.
That says live MSNBC.
It's like,
what you should do?
You're being arrested for murder.
Hold on.
Oops, sorry, you didn't murder anyone. It's like, what?
You can't even. Yeah, it's bullshit.
I bet I gotta turn this off.
It's concentrated, distilled, purified.
That's very weird.
Organic.
Fucker.
Alright, closing this.
Ruben said he just noticed that there's a third guy.
I wonder if Jordan Sheridan got shut down. And he's like, what the fuck's happening?
I think he got snuffed. I think he got snuffed.
Thinking that battery got.
You know who that is? Jordan Sheridan?
A little bit.
He was debating these two pro-Trump guys, and just all of a sudden his stream cut. Yeah.
Oh.
It was really bad. Like really bad. Like, oh, you guys don't know anything.
Awfully
God damn, man.
I'm not racist. I have a black friend.
Alright, debates are starting. I'm gonna fucking check and see who's watching what.
Look at that. The U.S. presidential primaries is sponsored by Disney and P&G, says Ruben Garcia.
Procter and Gamble.
Propaganda. Nice, it's on. Turn it up.
Turn it up, SpongeBob Bob.
Wouldn't it be ironic
if we get cut again, guys?
Wouldn't it be ironic if just blood from the Middle East just splattered on her perfectly white wardrobe? No Kramer.
I might play it through ABC. Hold up, guys.
And now, yikes. Oh, she's a creeper, Amy.
I'm playing
Beto
it through
O'Rourke
fucking ABC.
Creep me out. Tim is a creep. Elizabeth Warren.
ABC Radio? What the freak?
Propaganda, what's that link? I'm not clicking on the link until you tell me what it is.
By the way, Jordan, Amy's
right.
last name isn't pronounced Klobuchar.
Nico House is showing a full screen version of this shit.
Huh?
Nico House is showing a full screen version of
Yeah,
this. So if we get cut, they get cut. Motherfuckers. Where are we at?
Issues of the moment, including immigration, the situation unfolding at our border, and the treatment of migrant children.
And we're going to talk about the
And the
tensions with
treatment
Iran,
of migrant
climate
children.
change, and of course, we'll talk about the economy, those kitchen table
They can
issues
hear
so
you.
many
They can
Americans
hear you
face
right there.
every day.
And some quick rules of the road before we begin. 20 candidates qualified for this first
Make sure I
debate.
can see that
We'll
fucking
hear from
message.
10 tonight and 10 more tomorrow. The breakdown for each was selected at random. The candidates will have 60 seconds to answer and 30 seconds for any follow-ups.
Because of this large field, not every person will be able to comment
Tulsi,
on every topic.
Tulsi.
But over Over the course of the next 2 hours, we will hear.
I'm not playing anymore, dude.
We'd also like to ask the audience to keep the reactions to a minimum. We are not going to be shy about making sure the candidates stick to time tonight.
They will hear from everyone until they say something
We'll start this
substantive.
evening with Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator, good evening to you.
Thank you.
You have many plans: free college, free childcare, government health care, cancellation of student debt, new taxes, new regulations, the breakup of major corporations. But this comes at a time when 71% of Americans say the economy is doing well, including 60% of Democrats. What do you say to those who worry this kind of significant change could be risky to the economy?
So I think of it this way. Who is this economy really working
$5
for?
says that poll
It's doing
oversampled older
great
voters.
for a thinner and thinner slice
Trying to
at the
talk
top.
when
It's
they're
doing
answering.
great for giant drug
What?
companies. It's just not
Trying to
doing
talk
great
when
for
they're
people who are trying
answering
to get a
shit.
prescription filled.
Try to talk in
It's
between.
doing great
Oh.
for people who want to invest in private prisons. Just not for the African Americans and Latinx whose families are torn apart, whose lives are destroyed, and whose communities are ruined. It's doing great for giant oil companies that want to drill everywhere. Just not for the rest of us who are watching climate change bear down upon us. When you've got a government, when you've got an economy that does great for those with money and isn't doing great for everyone else, that is corruption, pure and simple. We need to call it out, we need to attack it head on, and we need to make structural change in our government, in our
It's like
economy,
we actually had
and in our
viewers.
country.
Goodbye.
Senator
You call
Cloud
programs
Boot Jar.
like free college something you might do if you were, quote, a magic genie. To be blunt, are the government programs and benefits that some of your rivals are offering giving your voters, people, a false sense of what's actually achievable?
Well, first, the economy. We know that not everyone is sharing in this prosperity, and Donald Trump just sits in the White House and gloats about what's going on when you have so many people that are having trouble affording college and having trouble affording their premiums. So I do get concerned about paying for college for rich kids. I do. But I think my plan is a good one. And my plan would be to, first of all, make community college free and make sure that everyone else besides that top percentile gets help with their education. My own dad and my sister got their first degrees with community college. There's many paths to success, as well as certifications. Secondly, I've used Pell Grants.
They're all
I doubled
showing it.
them
We're the ones
from
that get it.
$6,000 to $12,000 a year, and expand it to the number of families that get covered, to families that make up to $100,000. And then the third thing I would do is make it easier for students to pay off their student loans. Because I can tell you this, if billionaires can pay off their yachts,
I'm honestly here to see what Tulsi can do.
Yeah.
That's time, thank you.
I'm like,
But will she make it easier for those of us who have to eat salad with cones?
she's got to wreck the field.
The economy is desirable
Has to
and
happen.
how much is actually doable. In that vein, some Democrats want a marginal individual tax rate of 70% on the very highest earners, those making more than $10 million a year. Would you support that? And if not, what would your top individual rate be?
This economy has got to work for everyone. And right now we know that it isn't. And it's going to take all of us coming together to make sure
Do
that
I
it
see
does.
Beto the Stork,
Necesitamos
Jordan?
incluir cada persona en el éxito de esta economía. Pero si queremos hacer eso, necesitamos incluir cada persona en nuestro democracia.
Why?
Cada votante
Look at Cory Booker's
necesitamos
face.
What the freak?
y cada voz necesitamos escuchar. Right now we have a system that favors those who can
Me
pay
llamo
for
Beto the
access
Stork.
and outcomes. That's how you explain
This is
an economy that's
pandering.
rigged
Yeah.
to corporations
Oh, yeah.
and to the very wealthiest. A $2 trillion tax cut that favored corporations while they were sitting on record piles of cash, and the very wealthiest in this country at a time of historic wealth inequality. A new democracy that is revived because we return power to the people. No PACs, no gerrymandering, automatic and same-day voter registration to bring in more voters, and a new Voting Rights Act to get rid of the barriers that are in place now. That's how we each have a voice in our democracy and make this economy work for everyone.
That's time, sir.
That's time because of commercials.
Answer if you want to answer the direct question,
Yeah.
would you support a 70% individual marginal tax rate? Yes, no, or pass?
I would support a tax rate and a tax code that is fair to everyone. Tax capital at the same
That was
rate you
weird.
tax ordinary income.
That was
Take that
very
corporate
weird.
tax rate up to 28%. You would generate the revenues you need to pay for the programs we're talking about.
That's time, thank you. Senator Booker, there is a debate in
us
this
any
party right now about the
numbers.
role of corporations, as you know. Senator Warren, in particular, put out a plan to break up tech companies like Facebook, Amazon, and Google. You said we should not, quote, be running around pointing at companies and breaking them up without any kind of process. Why do you disagree?
I don't think I disagree. I think we have a serious problem in our country with corporate consolidation. And you see the evidence of that in how dignity is being stripped from labor. And we have people that work full-time jobs and still can't make a living wage. We see that because consumer prices are being raised by pharmaceutical companies that often have monopolistic holds on drugs. And you see that by just the fact that this is actually an economy that's hurting small businesses and not allowing them to compete. One of the most aggressive bills in the Senate to deal with corporate consolidation is mine about corporate consolidation in the ag sector. So I feel very strongly about the need to check the corporate consolidation and let the free market work. And I'll tell you this, I live in a low-income black and brown community. I see every single day that this economy is not working for average Americans. The indicators that are being used from GDP to Wall Street's rankings is not helping people in my community. It is about time that we have an economy that works for everybody, not just the wealthiest in our nation.
But quickly, Senator Booker, you did say that you didn't think it was right to name names, to name companies and single them out, as Senator Warren has. Briefly, why is that?
Well, again, I will single out companies like Halliburton or Amazon that pay nothing in taxes and are need to change that. And when it comes to antitrust law, what I will do is, number one, appoint judges that will enforce it. Number two, have a DOJ and a Federal Trade Commission that will go through the processes necessary to check this kind of corporate concentration. At the end of the day, we have too much of a problem with corporate power growing. We see that with everything from Citizens United and the way they're trying to influence Washington. It's about time that we have a president that fights for the people in this country.
That's time,
we
sir.
need to have someone that's a champion for them.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Warren,
I don't think you would do that. Nope.
Are you picking winners and losers?
So the way I understand this is there is
Already going back to her, huh?
consolidation now in giant industries in this country. That hurts workers, it hurts small businesses, it hurts independent farmers, it hurts our economy overall.
Someone's going to be ignored
And it helps
tonight.
constrict real innovation and
Possibly.
growth in this economy. Now look, we've had the laws out there for a long time to be able to fight back. What's been missing is courage. Courage in Washington to take on the giants. That's part of the corruption in this system. It has been far too long that the monopolies have been making the campaign contributions.
Oh, this would be so sad if they just don't talk to her. Get like one question.
If they pull a Mike Ravel, where they don't talk,
I'll feel so bad. Like,
Where I want to start this is I want to return government to the people, and that means calling out the names of the monopolists and saying I have the courage to go after them.
Thank you.
Secretary Castro, the next question is for you. Democrats have been talking about the pay gap for decades. What would you do to ensure that women are paid fairly in this country?
Julian
Thank you very
Castro.
much for that question, Lester. You know, I grew up with a mother who raised my brother Joaquin and me as a single parent. And I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to rent a home and to worry about whether you're going to be able to pay the rent at the first of the month. And to see a mom work very, very hard and know that moms across this country are getting paid less simply because they're women. I would do several things, starting with something we should have done a long time ago, which is to pass the Equal Rights Amendment, finally in this country. And also pursue legislation so that women are paid equal pay for equal work in this country. It's past time that we did that. And, you know, we have to do this. If we want to be the most prosperous nation in the 21st century, we need to make sure that women are paid what they deserve.
All right, thank you. I want to
Dude, this is like a prize fight.
Congresswoman Gabbard,
Yeah.
your thoughts on equal pay?
No, first of all, let's recognize the situation we're in, that the American people deserve a president who will put your interests ahead of the rich and powerful.
Bring
That's
it to
not
war.
what we have right now. I enlisted in the Army National Guard after the Al-Qaeda terror attacks on 9/11, so I could go after those who had attacked us on that day. I still serve as a major, served over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East, and in Congress served on the Foreign Affairs and Armed Services Committees for over 6 years. I know the importance of our national security, as well as the terribly high cost of war. And for too long, our leaders have failed us, taking us from one regime change war to the next, leading us
she's
into
rushing to
a
get to it.
an arms race, costing us trillions of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars and countless lives.
Tie it into equal pay now.
As president,
Tie
I
it
will
into
take
equal
your
pay.
hard-earned taxpayer dollars and instead invest those dollars into serving your needs. Things like health care, a green economy, good-paying jobs, protecting our environment, and so much more.
Mayor de Blasio, good evening. You're the mayor of the biggest city in the United States.
Oh, they
It's
just
also one of
moved
the
on.
cities in
Like,
the country
oh no, this
with
is
the
not
greatest
looking good.
gap between the wealthy
Mike
and the
Gravel.
poor.
Remember that?
How would you address
What happened to that
income
guy?
inequality?
Well, we've been addressing income inequality in New York City by raising wages, by raising benefits, by putting money back in the hands
They're
of
gonna
working
ignore her
people.
now.
$15
They're gonna ignore her
minimum
now.
wage,
Watch.
paid sick days.
She didn't turn it into
Things that are
the
making
equal
a
pay
huge
thing.
difference in
She
working
could have easily
people's
did
lives.
that.
But let me tell you what we're
she just
hearing
wants
here
it.
already in
I'm
the
gonna
first
say
round
it's
of
fine.
questions is that battle for the heart and soul of our party. I want to make it clear. This is supposed to be the party of working people. Yes, we're supposed to be for 70% tax rate on the wealthy. Yes, we're supposed to be for free college, free public college for our young people. We are supposed to break up big corporations when they're not serving our democracy. This Democratic Party has to be strong and bold and progressive. And in New York, we've proven that we can do something very different. We can put money back in the hands of working people. And let me tell you, every time you talk about investing in people and their communities, you hear folks say there's not enough money. What I say to them every single time is there's plenty of money in this world. There's plenty of money in this country. It's just in the wrong hands. We Democrats have to fix that.
Gentle reminder that money is still some shit we made up.
I think we need to do real things to help American workers and the American people. Right? This is the issue that all of us here on the campaign trail. We need to make sure everyone has a living wage. And I've called for a doubling of the earned income tax credit, raising the minimum wage, and creating paid family leave. That will create a situation where people actually have a living
Propaganda
wage.
says that clap was from Jimmy Dore and gang.
Then we got to fix our public education system. It's not delivering the results our kids need, nor is college and post-high school career and technical training programs doing that. You know, I'm very different than everyone else here on the stage. Prior to being in Congress, I was an entrepreneur.
How are you?
I started 2 businesses. I created thousands of jobs. I spent my whole career helping small to mid-sized businesses all over the country. 5,000 of them I supported. The Obama administration
She actually seemed nervous.
for lending to
And then it got an awkward moment at the end.
I know how to create
It's like,
jobs.
blah, 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 blah.
Short-term strategy, which is to put money in the
I think we
pockets
should
of
pay
workers
attention to
with
that
the earned
word,
income tax credit,
lending.
raising the minimum wage and creating
Yeah.
paid family leave. And then we need to have a long-term strategy to make sure this country is competitive and we're creating jobs everywhere in this country.
Governor Inslee, how would you address income inequality?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised. I think plans are great, but I'm a governor, and we got to realize the people who brought us the weekend, unions, are going to bring us a long overdue raise in America. And I'm proud of standing up for unions. I've got a plan to reinvigorate collective bargaining so we can
Why did
increase
Gravel allow
wages
rich,
finally.
yuppie,
I
commie
marched
college
with the
teams to
SEIU
use his
folks. It is
Twitter?
not right that the CEO of McDonald's
I don't know.
makes 2,100 times more than the people singing hash at McDonald's.
Yeah,
And
she
the
needs to
next thing
recover.
we'll do is put people to
Um,
work in the jobs of the
Propaganda
present and the
Gravel,
future.
Gravel on Twitter,
Donald
right?
Trump is simply wrong. He says wind turbines cause cancer. We know they cause jobs.
Tulsi got it out of the way. Now you need to address the
Wind
issues.
turbines. I'm sorry, wind turbines cause cancer?
IBW's members, machinists.
Who said that?
We're doing it in my state today.
Nobody says
And then
that.
we can
So
do what
wind
America
turbines cause
always
cancer?
does.
They cause
Lead the world
jobs.
and advance the future for
You just
people
said
to work.
that.
That's what we're going to do.
Congressman Ryan, President Trump, and you just
Who the
referred,
fuck says
to
wind
him,
turbines
promised that
cause cancer?
manufacturing
I've never,
jobs were all
ever heard
coming
that.
back to places like your home state of Ohio. Can you make that same promise?
Yes, I believe you can. But first, let's say the president came, he said, don't sell your house to people in Youngstown, Ohio. And in his administration, just in the last 2 years, we lost $4,000 4,000 jobs at a General Motors facility. That rippled throughout
Propaganda.
our
Tulsi did
community.
great. They made it
General
feel
Motors
like
got a tax
shit.
cut.
Yeah.
General Motors got a bailout. And then they have the audacity to move a new car that they're going to produce to Mexico.
Early round shell shock.
That have
It's like,
to
calm down.
unbolt a machine from the factory floor, put it in a box.
Like, here's a vegan marijuana cupcake. It'll calm you down.
From in Northeast Ohio, this issue we're talking about here, it's been going on 40 years. This is not a new phenomenon in the United States of America.
What's gonna happen.
The bottom 60% haven't seen a raise since 1980. Meanwhile, the top
Don't forget, there
1%
also
control
second round of
90%
debates as
the
well.
wealth. We need an industrial policy saying we're going to dominate building electric vehicles. There's going to be 30 million made in the next 10 years. I want half of them made in the United States. I want to dominate the solar industry and manufacture those here in the United States.
Senator Warren.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anyway.
Going back to Elizabeth Warren again.
Industrial policy in the United States for decades now, and it's basically been let giant corporations do whatever they want to do. Giant corporations have exactly one loyalty, and that is to profits. And if they can save a nickel by moving a job to Mexico or to Asia or to Canada, they're going to do it. So here's what I propose for an industrial policy. Start with a place where there's a real need. There's going to be a worldwide need for green technology, ways to clean up the air, ways to clean up the water. And we can be the ones to provide that. We need to go tenfold in our research and development on green energy going forward. And then we need to say, any corporation can come and use that research. They can make all kinds of products from it, but they have to be manufactured right here in the United States of America. And then we have to double down and sell it around the world. There's a $23 trillion market coming for green products. We should be the leaders and the owners, and we should have that 1.2
Make the military green, right? Green AKs.
All right, we're going to turn to the issue of healthcare right now. I'm really trying to understand where there may or may not be daylight
Green
between
like the
you.
Green
Many people watching at
Berets.
home have health insurance coverage through their
Oh, there's
employer.
daylight.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan? Just a show of hands. Start off with.
Tulsi.
All right, well, Senator Klobuchar, let me put the question to you. You're one of the
Government
Democrats
paid
who
for a
wants to keep
plan.
private insurance in addition to a
She should have raised her hand
government
anyways.
healthcare plan. Why is
I'm
an
sorry.
incremental
I'm sorry,
approach
Ms.
in your
Klobuchar,
view
but you're
better than
disqualified.
a sweeping overhaul?
Well, I think it's a bold approach. It's
She's a
something
creep.
that Barack Obama wanted to do when we were working on the Affordable Care Act, and that is a public option. I am just simply concerned about
I wouldn't feel
kicking,
safe with
half
Klobuchar in the
of
White
America
House.
off of their
I feel
health
like she'd throw a
insurance
stapler at
in
me.
4 years, which is exactly what this bill says. So let me go on beyond that. There's a much bigger issue in addition to that, and that is pharmaceuticals. The president literally went on TV
How about
on
you,
Fox
Jordan?
and said that
Does-
people's heads
does
would
Claude
spin
Bouchard over there
when they
make you
see
fear
how much he would bring down
staplers?
pharmaceutical prices. Instead,
What?
2,500 drugs have gone up in double
Does she
digits
look like she
since
would
he
throw a
came into
stapler at
office.
you?
Ah, okay, I get it
$100
now.
billion in giveaways to the pharma companies. For the rest of us, for the rest of America, that's what we call at home, all foam and no beer. We got nothing out of it. And so my proposal is to do something about pharma, to take them on, to allow negotiation under Medicare, to bring in less expensive drugs from other countries. And pharma thinks they own Washington. Well, they don't own me.
Your time is up. Thank you. Senator Warren, you signed on to Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. It would put essentially everybody on Medicare and then eliminate private plans that offer similar coverage. Is that the plan or path that you would pursue as president?
So yes, I'm with Bernie on Medicare for All, and let me tell you why.
She's gonna get ignored.
I spent a big chunk of my life studying why families go broke. And one of the #1 reasons is the cost of health care, medical bills. And that's not just for people who don't
I think
have
medical bills
insurance.
is
It's
actually
for
just the
people
#1
who have
cost straight up.
insurance.
I wonder if
Look at the
Tulsi
business
fans are
model of
freaking
an
out right
insurance
now.
company.
She didn't raise her
It's to
hand for
bring in
that.
as many dollars as they can in premiums and to pay out as few dollars as possible for your health care. That
This
leaves
is.
families
I hope this
rising
isn't like the
premiums, rising
2008
co-pays,
debates.
and fighting with insurance
2007, I
companies to try to
believe.
get
But
the
anyway,
health care
where
that
Rebel,
their
Mike Rebel
doctors
was
say that
ignored
they and
completely.
their children need.
Completely.
Medicare
Seemingly.
for All solves that problem.
But he was ignored.
And
They
I
have
understand.
8,000 people
There are
watching.
a lot of politicians who say, "Oh, it's just not possible. We just can't do it." It's have a lot of political reasons for this. What they're really telling you is they just won't fight for it. Well, healthcare is a basic human right. And and I will fight for basic human rights.
Amy Clump of crap, Sister Garcia.
What'd they say?
Congressman O'Rourke, when you ran for Senate, you also praised a bill that would replace private insurance.
Yeah,
This year
Amy
you say
Clump
you're
of
no longer
crap.
Sure. Can you explain why?
My goal is
Yeah,
to ensure that
very
every
weird.
American is well enough to live to their full potential because they have health care. In Laredo, Texas, I met a young man, 27 years old, told me that he'd been to a doctor once in his life. And on that visit, he was told he had diabetes, he was told he had glaucoma, and he was told untreated because he doesn't have health care, he'll be dead before the age of 40. So getting to guaranteed, high-quality, universal health care as quickly and surely as possible has to be our goal. The ability to afford your prescriptions and go to a primary care provider. The ability to see...
You should be able to go right there. You're just expanding Medicare.
The single largest provider of mental health care services is the county jail system.
With some other things.
And healthcare also has to mean that every woman can make her own decisions about her own body and has access to the care that makes that possible. Our plan says that if you're uninsured, we enroll you in Medicare. If you're insufficiently insured, you can't afford your premiums, we enroll you in Medicare. But if you're a member of a union that negotiated for a health care plan that you like because it works for you and your family, you're able to keep it. We preserve choice by making sure that everybody has
time is up, Congressman.
People don't
Ignore
like
what he
their
just said
insurance
right there.
plans,
Time
my
is
boy.
up.
To be very clear,
They
I'll
like
give
their
you 10 seconds.
doctors.
Would you replace private insurance?
One at a time.
No, I think the choice is fundamental to our ability to get everybody care.
Private insurance is not working for tens of millions of Americans.
That's what you have to do. Cut these motherfuckers off.
The premiums, the
Cut them off.
expenses, it's not working.
That's
How
right.
can you
So
defend
for
a
those
system
for
that's
whom it's not working, they can choose Medicare. For the culinary workers in
you
the
got to
who I
start by
listen to,
acknowledging
who
the system
negotiated
is
for
not
those
working
plans,
for people.
they're able to keep them.
Why are you defending private insurance?
Say they like their private health insurance.
I asked
by
the
way. It
questions
should be
here.
noted that 100 million Americans.
No,
I mean,
that's another
I think
guy.
we should be the party that
It's like
keeps
jump in,
what's
cut them the fuck
working
off.
and fixes what's broken. I mean, doesn't that make sense? I mean,
Yeah,
we
see what I
should
was
give
doing there?
everyone in this country health care as a basic human right for free. Full stop. But we should also give them the option
Show me the toll.
to buy private insurance. Why do we have to stand for taking away something from people? And also, it's bad policy. If you go to every hospital in this country and you ask them one question, which is how would it have been for you last year if every one of your bills were paid at the Medicare rate? Every single hospital administrator said they would close. And the Medicare for All bill requires payments to stay at current Medicare rates. So to some extent, we're basically supporting a bill that will have every hospital closed. I mean, my dad was a union electrician, right? I actually grew up in a working class family. He loved the health care that the IBEW gave him.
Just like
And
a
I just
song.
always think
No
about
one
my dad
gives
and
a
anything
shit.
I would do from a policy perspective. He'd look at me and he'd say, good job, John, for getting health care for every American. But why are you taking my health
I've
care
led this
away?
plan a little bit because I'm fascinated to hear the daylight between you. Congressman Gabbard, weigh in here.
I think we're talking about this in the wrong way. You're talking about one bill over another bill. Really what we're talking about
That's
is
better.
our objective, making sure that every single sick American in this country is able to get the health care that they need. I believe Medicare for All is the way to do that. I also think that employers will recognize how much money will be saved by supporting a Medicare for All program, a program that will reduce the administrative costs, reduce the bureaucratic costs, and make sure that everyone gets that quality health care that they need. I also think if you look at other
There you go.
countries
Don't
in the
fucking
world
stop
who
for
have
that,
universal
motherfucker.
health care, every one of them has some form of a role of private insurance. I think that's what we've got to look at, taking the best of these ideas, but making sure unequivocally that no sick American goes without getting the care that they need, regardless of how much or little money they have in their pocket.
She nailed that one. She should just be cutting people off, though. More.
Absolutely will. First of all, we're talking about this as a healthcare issue, but in communities like mine, low-income communities, this is an education issue because kids who don't have healthcare are not going to succeed in school. It is an issue for jobs and employment because people who do not have good healthcare
Okay, if I
do
talk
not
over
succeed.
Mr.
Or
Booker
it's an
there.
retirement issue because in my community,
Yeah.
African Americans have a lower
Turns
life
out that
expectancy because of
people
lower
actually
healthcare.
hate having
And so
to
what
build
I'm saying
private
is very clear.
insurance
Healthcare is not just a
because
human
these
right, it
fucking
should be
health
an American
insurance
right.
companies look
And I
for
believe
any and
that's what
every
there
possible
is
way to
Medicare
weasel
for
out of
all.
paying for
But I
something.
have an urgency about
Yes.
this. When I
It's a whole business model.
Also, businesses have to trade policies damn near every year to get the cheapest one they can possibly get. or the most affordable one they can get.
Profiteering off of the pain of people in America, from pharmaceutical companies to insurers. Literally, the overhead for insurers that they charge is 15%, while Medicare's overhead is only at 2%. We can do this better, and every single day I will be fighting to give people more access and more affordable costs until we get to my goal, which is every American having health care.
Also, the only reason that the overhead is as low as it is for private insurance companies right now is because Obamacare forces that.
$23 billion in profits out of the healthcare system. $23 billion, and that doesn't count the money that was paid to executives, the money that was spent
Miss Johnny come lately.
Washington. We have a giant industry that wants our healthcare system to stay the way it is, because it's not working for families, but it's sure as heck working for them. It's time for us to make families come first.
It should not be an option in the United States of America for any insurance company to deny women coverage for their exercise of their right of choice. And I am the only candidate here who has passed a law protecting a woman's right of reproductive health and health insurance. And I'm the only candidate who has passed a public option. And I respect everybody's goals and plans here. But we do have one candidate that's actually advanced the ball. And we got to have access for everyone. I've done it as public option.
Access. What?
I just want to say there's
Access
three women
means
up
you
here
get
that
it.
have fought pretty hard for a woman's right to choose. So I'll start with you.
Still gotta pay up, boys.
And then I just want to make very clear, I think we share the goal of universal health care. And the idea I put out there, the public option, which the governor was just talking about, this idea is that you use Medicare or Medicaid without any insurance companies involved. You can do it either way. And the estimates are 13 million people would see a reduction in their premiums. 12 more million people would get covered. So I think it is a beginning, and the way you start and the way you...
Medicare for all covers everyone. Free.
This one is for you. All of you on stage.
Medicare for all, or we say
You
no.
all support some version of a government health care option. Would your plan cover abortion, Mr. Secretary?
Yes,
not a debate.
I don't believe only in reproductive freedom. I believe in reproductive justice. What that means is that just because a woman, or let's also not forget someone in the trans community, a trans female, is poor, doesn't mean they shouldn't have the right to exercise that right to choose. And so I absolutely would cover the right to have an abortion. More than that, everybody in this crowd and watching at home knows that in our country today, a person's right to choose is under assault in places like Missouri, in Alabama, in Georgia. I would appoint judges to the federal bench that understand the precedent of Roe v. Wade and will respect it. And in addition to that, make sure that we fight hard as we transition our healthcare system to one where everybody can get and exercise that right.
Senator Warren, would you put limits on any limits on abortion?
I would make certain that every woman has access to the full range of reproductive health care services, and that includes birth control, it includes abortion, it includes everything for a woman. And I want to add on that, it's not enough for us to expect the courts to
I
protect
should be live
us.
tweeting.
47 years ago, Roe versus Wade was decided, and we've all looked
I
at
should
the
be live
courts
tweeting.
all that time as state after state
Nah,
has
fuck it.
undermined Roe,
Fuck
has
it.
put in exceptions, has come
Do it tomorrow.
right up to the edge of taking away
Your
protection.
time is up, Senator.
We now have an America where most people support Roe versus Wade.
Shut
We need
up.
to make that federal law.
Senator Wood, I want to kind of come back on a discussion we were having about health. And
Who the fuck is this guy?
You,
Who the fuck
represent
is
a
that?
state where 14 of the 20 largest pharmaceutical companies are based.
Why do so many of these people have the personality of a wet piece
Manufacture
of
these drugs be
toast?
held criminally liable for what they do?
They should absolutely be held criminally liable because they are liable and responsible. This is one of the reasons why, well before I was running for president, I said I would not take contributions from pharma companies, not take contributions from corporate PACs or pharma executives, because they are part of this problem. And this opioid addiction in our country, We in cities like mine have been seeing how we've tried to arrest our way out of addiction for too long. It is time that we have a national urgency to deal with this problem and make the solutions that are
Live tweet for us propaganda. You can do it. Spread your propaganda.
Companies that are responsible help to pay for that.
Congressman O'Rourke, how would you deal?
Tonight in this country, you have 2.3 million of our fellow Americans behind bars. It's the largest prison population on the face of the planet. Many are there for nonviolent drug crimes, including possession of marijuana, at a time that more than half the states have legalized it or decriminalized it. And yet, despite what Purdue Pharma has done, their connection to the opioid crisis and the overdose deaths that we're seeing throughout this country, they've been able to act with complete impunity and pay no consequences, not a single night in jail. Unless there's accountability and justice, this crisis will continue. In my administration, we will hold them to account. We will make sure that they pay a price, and we will help those
Dude, this should be on the screen.
of this malfeasance in this country.
It looks
Give them
so
treatment
silly.
and long-term care.
I know
He's
immigration
like-
is on a lot of your minds here. I don't want to talk about it. We're going to talk about the moment.
I'm like-
Take a break. We'll be back with more from Miami after this.
All right.
All right.
Don't want to get copyright ID'd again.
Oh,
Well-
these are advertisements.
Stop it!
All right. Okay, cool. All right. So,
I'm throwing this on the TV, dude.
go ahead.
Watch my computer crash from doing this. Like, oh, what else?
If our connection gets cut this time, you'll
That
actually
little
know
ant I
why.
took off my shoulder. It's going like, hey, remember me?
Wait, what?
That little ant that was crawling on my arm.
Ah.
Whatever can go wrong.
Remember
shall
me?
go wrong.
It's not an ant,
All right.
Jordan, it's just a gremlin in disguise.
We'll get to the comments now.
No, they're just going as we go. But that
Oh,
shit.
Since there's a commercial. What?
What do you plan to do about the pharmaceutical company? Here's an ad from Pfizer.
Matt Hunter talking to Ruben. Propaganda says, "I just want to roll in a pile of Tulsi." Okay. Propaganda, boys, I hate Warren's voice.
It's gonna be like Biden's first public appearance.
Propaganda, hashtag rigged debates. Propaganda, give me your Twitter password.
You got our link. You're watching our page right now. Shill it.
Goldman says Trump 2020.
Trump 2020.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Oh, tell us why. Let's see.
Debate bought and paid for by
NBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
We'll see if they ignore a certain candidate up there.
All right, coming back.
I want to turn to an issue that has been in the news, especially this week. There are undocumented children being held alone in detention. Even as close as Homestead, Florida, right here, less than 30 miles from where we are tonight. Fathers and mothers and children are dying while trying to enter the United States of America. We saw that image today that broke our hearts, and they had names. Oscar Martinez and his 23-month-old daughter Valeria died trying to cross the river to ask for asylum in this country.
This dude's a fucking actor, son. The freak.
Migrants were apprehended at the southern border.
You hear this dude?
Yeah.
Secretary Castro, if you were president today, what would you specifically do?
Thank you
Dude,
very
I'm
much,
tripping. I'm
Jose.
hearing some
I'm very
shit.
proud that in April I became the first candidate to put forward a comprehensive immigration plan.
Agreed,
We
howdy
saw
doody.
those images. Watching that image of Oscar and his daughter Valeria is heartbreaking. It should also piss us all off. If I were president today,
Oh, you hear that? He's edgy. He said piss.
and it should spur us to action. If I were president today, I would sign an executive order that would get rid of Trump's zero tolerance policy, the remain in Mexico policy, and the metering policy. This metering policy is basically what prompted Oscar and Valeria to make that risky swim across the river. They have been playing games with people who are coming and trying to seek asylum at our ports of entry. Oscar and Valeria went to a port of entry, and then they were denied the ability to make an asylum claim. So they got frustrated. and they tried to cross the river, and they died because of that.
On day one,
On day one, I would do that executive order that would address metering, and then I would follow that up in my first 100 days with immigration reform that would honor asylum claims, that would put undocumented immigrants, as long as they haven't committed a serious crime, on a pathway to citizenship, and that would go to the root cause of the issue, which is we need a Marshall Plan for...
Someone bring up Obama's, you know, look at the ratio.
The root cause?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not go to that.
Senator Booker, what would you do?
Look at the ratios.
And this is a situation that the
Yeah.
next president will inherit.
I don't know how true this is, but I heard that ICE is actually taking medication away from these immigrants or something.
What is up with these fucking dudes, man? Yo, I'm tripping, son.
That number one, we end the ICE policies and the Customs and Border
Hey, buddy, what the
policies that
fuck
are
are you
violating
doing,
human
bro?
rights. When people come to this country, they do not leave their human rights at the border.
They're faking faces. I just saw Castro smirking after he's like, serious, and he's smirking on the side. It's like,
Pathways to citizenship
fuck.
for DACA recipients and to make sure that people that are here on temporary protected status can stay and remain here. And then finally, we need to make sure that we address the issues that
Owen used to work for, Castro used to work for Obama. Deporter-in-chief Obama.
By ripping away the resources we need to actually solve this problem. We cannot
Thank you, Ruben.
surrender our values and think that we're going to get border security. We
If somebody
actually will
brings
lose
up the fact that
security
we have
and
net
our
zero
values. We
immigration,
must fight for
which means
both.
we get so many people coming into this
very
country.
briefly, and this is an important point. You know, my plan, and
I
I'm
didn't
glad
know
to see
that.
that Senator Booker, Senator Warren, and Governor Inslee agree with me on this. My plan also includes getting rid of Section 1325 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, to go back to the way we used to treat this when somebody comes across the border, not to criminalize desperation, to treat that as a civil violation. And here's why it's important.
It's like Tulsi, foreign policy. Here it is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Here it is.
1325 to justify under the law separating little children from their families. And so I want to challenge every single candidate on this stage to support the repeal of Section 1325.
Only one I can't hear.
Here said I agree with him on that issue, but folks should understand that the separation of children from families doesn't just go on at our border. It happens in our communities as ICE are ripping away parents from their American children, spouses and the like, and are creating fear in cities all across this country where parents are afraid to even drop their kids off to school or go to work. We must end those policies as well.
Discussion about immigration in this country, because
Come on,
look at the
Tulsi.
bottom line here. That tragic photo of that parent.
Everyone
that
here
child.
sucks. Bernie
And I'm saying
2020.
this as a father.
I think Tulsi's up there with him. I'd say she's might be better than him.
But we have to get under the skin of
They're
why
close.
we have this crisis in our system, because we're not being honest about the division that's
How do you know that,
fomented in this
Alaskan?
country.
How do you know
The way
that?
American
It said there?
citizens
Ah,
have been
all right.
told that immigrants
Checking.
somehow
I
created
can
their
read.
misery and their pain and their challenges. For all the American citizens out there who feel you're falling behind, who feel the American dream's not working for you, the immigrants didn't do that to you. The big corporations did that to you. The 1% did that to you. We need to be the party of working people, and that includes a party of immigrants. But first, we have to tell working people in America who are hurting that we're going to be on their side every single time against those big corporations who created this mess to begin with. And remind people we're all in this together. If we don't change that debate, that politics that's holding us back, we won't get all these reforms people are talking about. That's what we need to do as Democrats.
Congresista O'Rourke, ¿qué haría usted en el primer día si usted es presidente sobre esta realidad que está ocurriendo? What would you do, Congressman, at the White House?
Vamos a tratar cada persona con el respeto y dignidad que merecen como humanos. We would not turn back Valeria and her father Oscar. We would accept them into this country and follow our own asylum laws. We would not build walls. We would not put kids in cages. In fact, we would spare no expense to reunite the families that have been separated already. And we would not criminally prosecute any family who is fleeing violence and persecution. We would make sure...
Secretary, let him finish. I will give you this policy. Let him finish. Let him finish, please. Yes.
We would not detain any family fleeing violence, in fact, fleeing the deadliest countries on the face of the planet today. We would implement a family case management program.
More than the
so
Middle
they could be
East?
cared for in the community
I don't
at
know
a
about that
fraction of the cost. And then we would rewrite our immigration laws in our own image. Free dreamers forever from any fear of deportation by making them U.S. citizens here in this country. Invest in solutions in Central America, work with regional stakeholders so there's no reason to make that 2,000-mile journey to this country.
Secretary, I'll give you 30 seconds.
Let's be very clear. The reason that they're separating these little children from their families is that they're using Section 1325 of that act, which criminalizes coming across the border, to incarcerate the parents and then separate them. Some of us on this stage have called to end that section, to terminate it. Some, like Congressman O'Rourke, have not. And I want to challenge all of the candidates to do that. I just think it's a mistake, Bethel. I think it's a mistake. And I think that if you truly want to change the system, then we got to repeal that section. If not, then it might as well be the same policy.
Let me respond to this very briefly. Actually, as a member of Congress, I helped to introduce legislation that would ensure that we don't criminalize those who are seeking asylum and refuge in this country. If you're fleeing desperation, then I want to make sure that you're treated with respect.
I'm still talking about everybody else.
But you're looking at just one small part of this. I'm talking about a comprehensive rewrite of our immigration laws. And if we do that, I don't think it's
actually not true. I'm talking about
our laws.
I'm talking about millions of folks. A lot of folks that are coming are not seeking asylum. A lot of them are undocumented immigrants, right? And you said recently that the reason you didn't want to repeal Section 1325 was because
I just heard him saying that
human trafficking and drug trafficking.
What?
But let me tell you what. Section 18,
Title
18 of the U.S. Code, Title 21, and Title 22 already
they're all
cover the
seeking,
immigrant
that they're not all seeking refugee status, or they're just undocumented.
This is an issue that we should and could be talking about for a long time, and we will for a long time.
Can we talk about the conditions and why people are coming here?
Let's
because
Savannah.
It's like Tulsi, talk over them.
But rather than talk about specific provisions, we really have to talk about why these people are coming to our country and what are we going to do to actually make a difference in these countries.
Congressman, you'll get your chance. Let's continue the discussion. Senator Klobuchar, let's talk about what Secretary Castro just said. He wants to no longer have it be a crime to illegally cross the border.
Gotta say, their Republican days were so much more fun to watch.
And if so, do you worry about potentially incentivizing?
I'm here really paying attention to like two candidates,
Immigrants,
Gabbard and Warren.
They do not diminish America. They are America. And I am happy to look at his proposal, but I do think you want to make sure that you have provisions in place that allow you to
James,
go
my
after
little
traffickers
sexy fart.
and allow you to go
My little
after
sex
people
fart.
Who are
Whatever.
violating the law. What I really think we need to step back and talk about is the economic imperative here. And that is that 70 of our Fortune 500 companies are headed up by people that came from other countries. 25% of our U.S. Nobel laureates were born in other countries. We have a situation right now where we need workers in our fields and in our factories. We need them to start small businesses.
We need workers in our fields.
Has literally gone
What's your language there,
at a time where our economy needs immigrants. And so my proposal is to look at that 2013 bill that passed the Senate with Republican support, to upgrade that bill, to make it as good as possible and get it done. It brings the debt down by $158 billion. It gives a path to citizenship for people who can become citizens. And it would be so much better for our economy in America.
That's time. Thank you. Congressman Ryan, same question. Should it be a crime to illegally cross the border, or should it be a civil offense only?
Well, I agree with Secretary Castro. I think there are other provisions in the law that will allow you to prosecute people for coming over here if they're dealing in drugs and other things. That's already established in the law. So there's no need to repeat it. And I think it's abhorrent. We're talking about this father who got killed with his daughter. And the issues here, the way these kids are being treated, if you go to Guantanamo Bay, there are terrorists that are held, they get better health care than those kids that have tried to cross the border in the United States. That needs to stop. And I think the president should immediately ask doctors and nurses to go immediately down to the border and start taking care of these kids.
Drug dealers kind of feels like a very subtle
we have a
indication
president of the United
that he
States who's so focused on
What do you
hate
think?
and fear and division.
What do you think,
And what has happened
I
now,
didn't
the
hear
end
it.
result is now we've got kids literally laying in their own snot with 3-week-old diapers that haven't been changed.
Oh.
We've got to tell this president that is not a sign of strength, Mr. President. That is a sign of weakness.
Senator
If you're
Booker, I'll go to you. But no, a lot of people,
John Lawrence, Fields and Factories, Soviet
what will
much.
you do with the fact that you will have families here? There's been a lot of talk about what you'll do in the first 100 days.
Need someone to work in the fields. Get those immigrants.
Families, how will you care for them? Will they be detained?
Why is he
or will they
crying?
not be?
Well, this is a related and brief point because
He's fucking crying,
what we're
guys.
talking about, what Senator Castro and I are talking about, is that we have the power to better deal with this problem through the civil process than the criminal process. I have been to some of the largest private prisons, which are repugnant to me, that people are profiting off of incarceration and their immigration lockups. Our country has made so many mistakes by criminalizing things, whether it's immigration, whether it's mental illness, whether it's addiction. We know that this is not the way to deal with problems. There is a humane
Judd
way
Hurst,
that
listening to
affirms
Beto
human
O'Rourke
rights
talk.
and human dignity
It's like
and
listening
actually
to a
solve
cat
this
in
problem.
heat.
Donald Trump is inside
He
this
sounds
problem.
weird,
Under his
creepy, and
leadership,
completely
a
alien
surge
to the
error.
average human.
We solved this problem by making investments in Northern Triangle to stop the reasons why people are being driven here in the first place.
I think you're
And we make sure
exactly
we use
right.
our resources to provide
He has like a
healthcare, to
90s
affirm
surfer
the values of
voice.
human dignity of people that come here, because we cannot sacrifice our values, our ideals as a nation for border security. We can have both by doing this the right way.
All right, Senator, thank you. If we go to Governor Inslee on this,
Oh
what
my
would you do
God.
on day one? Same question I just asked Cory Booker. I have yet to hear an answer from anyone on this stage. What will you do with the families
There's other
that
people
will
here.
be here?
There is no reason for the detention and
I
separation
guess
of
Tulsi
these children.
Gabbard just
They
doesn't
should be
exist.
released pending their hearings.
Give it time.
They should have a hearing and
I'm not gonna go there
the
yet.
following. That's what should happen. And we should do
She's
what
also
we
got to
do
take
in
advantage and
Washington
jump
State.
in there.
I'm proud that we've passed a law that prevents local law enforcement from being turned into mini ICE agents. I'm proud to have been the first governor to stand up against Donald Trump's
I don't think we should have ICE at all. It hasn't even been around that long.
talked about dreamers, but
9/11.
sure that they get a college education so that they can realize their dreams. These are some of the most inspirational people in our state. And I'll leave you with
ICE
this
has
thought
only
if you
been
wanna know
here
what I
since,
think. Donald
I
Trump
want to say
came back the other
2002,
day, tried to
2003.
threaten me.
It
He
was
thought
created
it
by
was a threat
the Bush
to tell me that
administration.
he would send refugees in Washington State if we passed the law that I passed. And I told him that's not a threat at all. We welcome refugees into our state. We recognize diversity as a strength. This is how we built America. That tradition is going to continue if I'm president of the United States.
He said those key words. Diversity is a strength.
My grandfather was actually separated from his family when he
We're going to talk about Iran right now because we're going against the clock. Tankers have been attacked. A U.S. drone has
What
been
clock?
shot down. There
Why do you have a
are
clock?
disturbing threats issued by both the U.S.
Take all the time you
and
need,
Iranian
guys.
leadership. I'd like
She
you
better
to
nail
just
this shit
put aside
and wreck
everything
everyone
we've
else
got
with it.
here, But what I want to know is how do you dial it back? So a show of hands, who as president would sign on to the 2015 nuclear deal as it was originally negotiated? That's it. Well, Senator Booker, why not?
May I address that? First and foremost,
I get more talking time when I do that.
out of that deal. And one of the reasons why we're seeing this hostility now is because Donald Trump is marching us to a far more dangerous situation. Literally, he took us out of a deal that gave us transparency into their nuclear program and pushed back a nuclear breakout 10, 20 years. And now we see Iran threatening to go further, and we're being pulled in further and further into this crisis. We need to renegotiate and get back into a deal, but I'm not going to have a primary platform to say unilaterally I'm going to rejoin that deal, because when I'm president of the United States, I'm going to do the best I can to secure this country and that region and make sure that if I have an opportunity to leverage a better deal, I'm going to do it.
All right, Senator Klobuchar, I'd like you to answer that question because you said you would negotiate yourself back into the Iranian agreement. Can you argue that nuclear pact, as it was ratified,
You have the foreign policy candidate there.
It was imperfect, but it was a good deal for that moment. I would have worked to get longer sunset periods, and that's something we could negotiate to get back in the deal. But the point is, Donald Trump told us when he got out of it that he was going to give us a better deal. Those were his words. And now we are a month away from the Iranians, who claim now that they're going to blow the caps on enriching uranium. And the Iranians have told us this. And so that's where we are right now. He has made us less safe than we were when he became president. So what I would do is negotiate us back into that agreement, is stand with our allies and not give unlimited leverage to China and Russia, which is what he has done. And then, finally, I would make sure that if there is any possibility of a conflict, and we're having this debate in Congress right now, that he comes to Congress for an authorization of military force. I would do that. And this president is literally every single day 10 minutes away from going to war, one tweet away from going to war, and I don't think we should conduct foreign policy in our bathrobe at 5 in the morning.
Congresswoman Gabbard.
Kill.
You said you would sign back on to the 2015
Destroy.
deal. Would you insist, though, that it address Iran's support for Hezbollah?
Let's deal with the situation where we are, where this president and his chicken hawk cabinet have led us to the brink of war with Iran. I served in the war in Iraq at the height of the war in 2005, a war that took over 4,000 of my brothers and sisters in uniforms' lives. The American people need to understand that this war with Iran would be far more devastating, far more costly than anything that we ever saw in Iraq. It would take many more lives. It would exacerbate the refugee crisis. And it wouldn't be just contained within Iran. This would turn into a regional war. This is why it's so important that every one of us, every single American, stand up and say, no war with Iran. We need to get back into the Iran nuclear agreement, and we need to negotiate how we can improve it. It was an imperfect deal. There are issues like their missile development that needs to be addressed. We can do both simultaneously to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon and preventing us from going to war.
There's a very quick follow-up. Well, what would your red line be for military action against Iran?
Oh, this is not good.
Look, obviously, if there was an attack against the our troops, then there would have to be a response. But my point is, and it's important for us to recognize this, is Donald Trump and his cabinet, Mike Pompeo, John Bolton, and others,
Now you're
creating a
talking. Now you're talking.
situation that just a spark would light off a war with Iran, which is incredibly dangerous.
Tell them how they're doing it.
De-escalate tensions. Trump needs to get back into the Iran nuclear deal and swallow his pride. Put the American people first.
Hey, but wait a minute.
All right, we are out of time. We're up against a hard break, but we will have much more. Mayor de Blasio will have more. The commercial is coming. We will continue our questions.
You know what? Fuck commercials.
I know.
Listen, even though these are the Democratic presidential debates, commercials come first. Not the potential people that are going to run the country. They're going to control the outcome of people's lives, right? Fuck it.
Yes, in the middle of an important discussion about government policy, let's give all these corporations several minutes to smear their logo feces all over your television screen.
Yeah. I would have handled that much differently. Like, listen, guys, we've been lied into war before. War in Iraq, this. Now look what they're doing in Iran. And then you bring up Donald Trump and blah, 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 blah. So, it's like, how do we, like, I'd be more worried about what we're doing than Iran funding Hezbollah. We've literally funded Al-Qaeda in Syria. She could have brought that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not.
I was thinking Tulsi would just come out with a fucking sledgehammer to all this.
That's what she has to do. And she didn't. She hasn't so far. This fucking guy.
I'm being paid out the ass.
Dennis, look at this. This is his high watermark. His peak as president. His average approval rating at its best, 46%.
Oh, who cares about Trump?
Early February 2017. That was his honeymoon. He had just become president. That makes him
And
right there.
I think Tulsi will go up in some points, but not enough to, not where Bernie Sanders was at 3% and just went whoop.
Yeah.
Not with those answers.
Even crack 50%. So
let's be real, tie it to the subject you're talking about, and also, man, add your part to it.
I really can't imagine why she's holding back so much.
Is she holding back, or is she nervous? Is she like just going back to her normal, standard ideas that she always talks about, rather than just being like, oh, I'm on the Jimmy Dore show. Oh, I'm on Rogan's podcast. Oh, I'm on Nikki House. I just want to hold her when the bombs drop. By propaganda? Dude, she's doing great. She just needs to butt in. She tested the water. She knows how to feel it. Yeah, but that was a foreign policy thing. That's some shit she has to nail, because those guys are not going to say that. They're not going to say they lied us into Iraq, Libya, Yemen, what we're doing in Yemen right now, blah, 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 blah. She could have just...
I think we're also waging like some kind of shadow war in Africa or something.
Sudan. 100% in Sudan. That's us funding Saudi Arabia, funding someone else in Sudan.
Because I know fucking Hillary, I think, when she was Secretary of State, gave backing to some army in South Sudan that was using child soldiers, so...
Oh, yeah. Not surprised.
That's fun fucking much to think about.
John Lawrence, debates without commercials is like football without sponsors. Yeah, but you see how like the out, like, yeah, I understand.
We got 30 seconds till it comes back, just so you know.
I'm just saying, when we talk about like the outcome of people's lives, because of the leader of the free world about to be decided, What are you feeling about AOC? Ireland here? I think she's a...
I'm starting to be like... Yeah, I'm starting to be like, I don't fucking trust you, motherfucker. Well, I was already in that camp, but I mean, like, in the corrupt area of I don't trust you. Where it's like, oh, just Democrats, as long as they win. All right.
Last time I remember John, I think she did fail to have her back.
Orland, yes. One of the first Democratic presidential debates in the Arts Center in Miami.
And as we continue the questioning, time to get more members of our team in the mix.
So right now, let's turn it over to Chuck Todd and Rachel Maddow.
Chuck Todd.
Chuck Todd. Of course, Lewinsky of secular talk also human.
20 candidates qualified for this first Democratic debate. We're going to hear from 10 tonight, 10 more tomorrow. The breakdown for each night was selected at random. Now, the candidates will have 60 seconds to answer, 30 seconds for a follow-up if necessary, and we will be ruthless if necessary.
Yeah, we can do that. By the way, hi, Rachel.
Hi, Chuck.
How you doing? Good. And we've got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to be talking about guns and climate here up top. A whole lot more in this hour. Obviously, because of the size of the field, not every person will be able to weigh in on everything, but over the course of this next hour, we will hear from everyone. I promise everybody. And to begin with, we're going to go with guns. And Senator Warren, I want to start with
We don't get to hear all their positions on everything. It's like, what?
From Parkland, Florida, where 17 people were killed in a school shooting last year, and where there has been significant activism on gun violence ever since. Many of you are calling for a restoration of an assault weapons ban. But even if implemented, there will still be hundreds of millions of guns in this country. Should there be a role for the federal government? Everybody's mics are on. I think we have I heard that too. That's okay. I think we had a little mic issue in the back.
Control room, we've got
We have I think we heard, we have the audience audio. All right. So the question is simply this. I apologize, you guys didn't get to hear this, the first part of the question. Obviously, we're not far from Parkland, Florida. Gun activism has become a big part of high school life up there in Broward County. Many of you are calling for tighter gun restrictions. Some of you are calling for the restoration of the assault weapons ban. But even if it's put in place, there's still going to be perhaps hundreds of millions of guns still on the streets. Is there a role for the federal government in order to get these guns off the streets?
What's happening?
We are hearing our colleagues' audio.
Yeah, so I shot him in the face, and like, oh, the mics are still on.
Yeah, if the control room can turn off the mics of our previous moderators, quick break. We're going to get this technical situation fixed. We will be right back.
Fuck you, Chuck. Yes, while we wait for them to fix a supposedly accidental mic problem, have more corporate logo feces. Because that's what you need.
Why is there time limits?
There's time limits because
TV constraints? It's like, come on, guys, who's buying that shit?
They have their own whole ass fucking channel.
The debates that would decide who the next candidates or candidate for the presidency.
I think at least
literally should be all fucking day live stream.
Yeah.
Take a look at the Electoral College in 2020. The place to start, obviously, is where the last election ended, 2016. And remember, of course, by the popular vote, Hillary Clinton had almost 3 million more of those than Donald Trump. You don't elect the president by national popular vote. We do it by the Electoral College. And there, Donald Trump had the right combination of votes in the right states.
I think MSNBC is what, channel 4?
What channel? NBC?
MSNBC.
I don't know.
The point is, they're in the single digits.
No, NBC is in the single digits. MSNBC is somewhere out there.
They were returning 2 minutes. Sorry.
That's exactly 2 minutes and 37 seconds to
propaganda. Yeah, AOC is weak. Well, I never really trusted her, but when I fucking heard her say something like, "I'll vote blue no matter what," I'll vote for Biden if he is the Democratic nominee.
And then there was Pennsylvania here.
It's like, oh, fuck you.
I think AOC has good policy ideas, but she really needs to show more teeth.
Wisconsin,
And buck the party.
The other thing I didn't like about her is when she did that whole thing with Ilhan Omar and the other girl's name.
Rashida Tlaib.
Impeaching Trump. So, okay, what are you going to impeach him for?
Emoluments.
They didn't go after the whole fucking illegal war thing. You know, they could have got him there.
I believe Tulsi got something passed to where funding rebels, or it's gonna pass, funding terrorists is now impeachable. I would have even brought that up. like, go on, Tulsi, come on. It's like, give me your platform and I'll just say it. I'll say it for you. Cutting everybody off. Elizabeth Warren, what do you think about animal rights? I know your dog. Shut up! I got the stage now. Cutting everybody off. So.
Everything on this stage is mine now.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You got a minute left, James.
I'm sorry. You're disqualified.
A Democratic incumbent is that.
Everything in this room is mine.
So Florida, it's tantalizing on paper for Democrats.
Propaganda. The popular government ditches our big friends. Propaganda. Boys, I wish I would have played the field of Tulsi. The fake debates trying to make it look live. That was fake. Maddie,
I don't know about that.
Propaganda totes set up. Make it seem quote live.
You can answer the comments, just.
I'm just reading them.
Yeah.
Yelling at me.
Good.
John Lawrence Maddow is such a wrapped fish.
Warped.
Warped fish. Brazil. Pursuing a Russiagate is like a Gene Hackman in the last scene of the conversation. Oh well. She's been doing that for like.
I wish I've seen that movie.
No,
I have not.
Over 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, definitely over 2
years.
years.
Bullshit. I think right after the election, she didn't even wait for Trump to get inaugurated.
All right.
Oh, she's by Jimmy Dore. She's been called out one of the biggest conspiracy theorists ever.
She's like MSNBC's own Alex Jones.
Never say never, but we will march forward here, and I will lean forward here a little bit. Senator Warren, we're going to get to the gun question here. Parkland, Florida. It's just north of here in Broward County, as you know.
You have to say that 3 times.
Teenage activism.
It's just north of here.
It has inspired a lot
yeah,
of
we
people
get
to
it.
come out with more robust plans to deal with guns, including assault weapons ban. But even if you're able to implement that, what do you do about the hundreds of millions of guns already out there? And does the federal government have to play a role in dealing with it?
So, in this period of time that I've been running for president, I've had more than 100 town halls. I've taken more than 2,000 unfiltered questions. And the single hardest question I've gotten, I got one from a little boy and I got one from a little girl. And that is to say, when you're president, how are you going to keep us safe? That's our responsibility.
The pandering is real.
7 children will die today from gun violence, children and teenagers. And they won't just die in mass shootings. They'll die on sidewalks, they'll die in neighborhoods, they'll die in people's backyards. Gun violence is a national health emergency in this country, and we need to treat it like that.
Yeah.
So what can we do? We can do the things that are sensible. We can do the universal background checks. We can ban the weapons of war. But we can also double down on the
Let me answer this question for Tulsi.
Are their minds being
What kind of example are we setting when we're going overseas and shooting all these people? We tell them guns are bad, but look what we do over here. Not to mention the arms deals that we...
What I think we need to do is we need to treat it like a serious research problem, which we have not done. You know, guns in the hands of a collector who's had them for decades, who's never fired them, who takes safety seriously, that's very different from guns that are sold and turned over quickly. We can't treat this as an across-the-board problem. We have to treat it like a public health emergency. That means bring data to bear, and it means make real change in this country, whether it's politically popular or not.
Senator Booker, you have a program.
Fight for our children.
Senator Booker, you have a federal government buyback program in your plan. How is that going to work?
Well, first of all, I want to say my colleague and I both have been hearing this on the campaign trail. But what's even worse is I hear gunshots in my neighborhood. I think I'm the only one, I hope I'm the only one on this panel here that had 7 people shot in their neighborhood just last week. Someone I knew, Shahad Smith, was killed with an assault rifle at the top of my block last year. For millions of Americans, this is not a policy issue. This is an urgency.
Swear to God, his eyes went this way for a second.
They're tired of living in a country where their kids go to school to learn about reading, writing, and arithmetic, and how to deal with an active shooter in their school. This is something that I'm tired of, and I'm tired of hearing people, all they have to offer is thoughts and prayers. In my faith, people say faith without works is dead. So we will find a way. But the reason we have a problem right now is we've let the corporate gun lobby frame this debate. It is time that we have bold actions and a bold agenda. I will get that done as President of the United States because this is not about policy. This is personal.
Thank you, Senator Booker.
Secretary Castro, I'd like to talk to you about something that Senator Booker just mentioned there, the idea of active shooter drills in schools. The school shootings seem like an almost every day.
Are you stepping on the cords?
Now they don't make a complete news cycle anymore, no matter the death toll. As parents are so afraid as their kids go out to school
make sure
that
you
their kids
don't.
will be caught up in something like this. Next to nothing has changed in federal law that might affect the prevalence of school
So
shootings.
just make sure you don't.
Is this a problem that is going to continue to get worse
My
over our
trouble.
lifetimes, or is there something that you would do as president
You had that look
that
on your
you really
face.
think would turn it around?
I
didn't do anything.
I'm the dad of a 10-year-old girl, Karina, who's here tonight. And the worst thing is knowing that your child might be worried about what could happen at school, a place that's supposed to be safe. The answer to your question is no, we don't have to accept that. And I believe that on January 20th, 2021, at 12:01 p.m., we're going to have a Democratic president, a Democratic House, and a Democratic Senate. The activists of Parkland, folks from Moms Demand, who have risen up across the United States and inspired so many.
Yeah, I bet they are trending.
You know, we may not have seen yet legislative action, but look, we're getting closer. The House took a vote.
They spoke Spanish, so they're trending.
The question often is if the decision is between 60 votes, a filibuster, or passing common sense gun reform. I'm going to choose common sense gun reform. So I believe that we're going to be able to get that done in 2021.
Secretary Castro, thank you.
Rachel, I have something to add to this briefly.
We'll give you 30 seconds for a follow-up on that question, on that answer from Secretary Castro. Congressman Ryan.
You're talking about in the
A
school.
whole 30 seconds? Holy shit.
I support all the gun reforms here.
Being generous
we need
with
to
that.
start dealing with the trauma that our kids have. We need trauma-based care in every school. We need social and emotional learning in every school. 90% of the shooters who do school shootings come from the school they're in, and 73% of them feel shamed, traumatized, or bullied. We need to make sure that these kids feel connected to the school. That means a mental health counselor in every single school in the United States. We need to start playing
Nico's ahead of
offense.
all
Our
of
kids
them.
are so
Like their
traumatized
major
that they're getting a
channel.
gun and going into our schools.
Cedar to Young
We're doing
Turks.
something wrong too, and we need
Motherfucker, if you want to point your finger, point your finger.
You're a Texan who's you campaign all over the state in 2018.
None of this half-ass pointing my thumb forward
What do you
bullshit.
tell a gun owner who may agree with you on everything else, okay, but says, you know what, the Democrats, if I vote for them in there, they're going to take my gun away, and even though I agree with you on all these other issues, how do you have that conversation?
Here's how we had that conversation in Texas. I shared with them what I learned from those students who survived the Santa Fe High School shooting. A young student named Bree, her friend Marcel, who survived another shooting, the mother of a victim who lost her life, Rhonda Hart. They talked about universal background checks where you close every loophole. We know that they save lives. Talked about ending the sales of assault weapons into our communities. Those weapons of war were designed to kill people as effectively and as efficiently as possible. They should belong on the battlefield and not in our communities. Red flag laws, so that if someone poses a danger to themselves or to someone else, they're stopped before it's too late. And what I found in each one of those 254 counties is that Democrats and independents and Republicans, gun owners and non-gun owners alike, agreed. But this effort must be led by the young people that you referenced at the beginning of this issue. Those students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas led the charge here in Florida, and they've been able to change those laws. They're making our democracy work, ensuring that our values and our interests and our priorities are reflected in the laws that we pass.
Thank you, Congressman O'Rourke. Hang on. Let me give 30 seconds. Senator Klobuchar, the Iron Range, I'm curious. Gun confiscation, right? If the government is buying back, how do you not have that conversation?
Well, that's not confiscation. You would give them the offer to buy back their gun. But I'll say this. I look at these proposals and I say, does this hurt my Uncle Dick in his deer stand, coming from a proud hunting and fishing state? These proposals don't do that. When I was a prosecutor, I supported the assault weapon ban. When I was in the Senate, I saw those moms from Sandy Hook come and try to advocate for change, and we all failed. And then now these Parkland kids from Florida, they started literally a national shift. You know why? It's just like with gay marriage. When kids talk to their parents and their grandparents, they say, I don't understand why we can't put these sensible things in place. Say, listen. And if we get bested by a bunch of 17-years-olds, it's the best thing that ever happened.
Senator Booker, let me go to you on another matter, actually. Senator Mitch McConnell says that his most consequential achievement as Senate Majority Leader was preventing President Obama from filling a Supreme Court seat.
8 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Having served with Republicans on the Judiciary Committee, do you believe they would confirm your court nominees?
I'm going to use 20 of my seconds.
He's still
just to say
clinging
one thing
on.
we don't all agree with when it comes to guns. And I
Clinging
think it's
on for
common
hope.
sense, and over 70% of Americans agree with me. If you need a license to drive a car, you should need a license to buy and own a firearm.
I'm cheering for her too. Just
it is looking
maybe not like that.
It is looking like they're ignoring her. They're just ignoring her.
15% drops in suicides.
This is like what happened with Gravel back in 2007. I think it was 2007.
Very clearly, I agree with my friend
Mike Gravel during the Democratic
we are going
debates.
to get to 50 votes in the Senate. This is a team sport. Whoever is our nominee needs to campaign in places like South Carolina because we can elect Jamie Harrison. They need to campaign in places like Iowa because we can win a Senate seat there. This is about getting us back to having 50 votes in the Senate and more so that we can not only balance the Supreme Court, but start to pass an aggressive agenda that frankly isn't so aggressive because most of America agrees with the policy objectives of our party.
You sure?
Congressman Delaney, you'll have some time in a moment on this issue. Congressman Delaney, I'll give you some time in a moment. Mayor de Blasio, as as an executive in the largest city in this country, you are used to saying what you want to have happen and having it happen. If you nominate a Supreme Court nominee as President of the United States and Mitch McConnell is still Senate Majority Leader, what makes you believe that he would allow you to make a nominee?
Rachel, I am chief executive of the nation's largest city. And I
Why
also
is
want
Mitch
to say
McConnell
something
in
quick on the gun
Congress?
issue and come to
I
your
thought it was
question.
illegal for turtles to run.
I run the largest police force in America, too, and if we're going to stop these shootings, we're going to get these guns off the street, we have to have a very different relationship between our police and our community. I also want to say there's something that sets me apart from all my colleagues running in this race. That is, for the last 21 years, I've been raising a black son in America. And I have had to have very, very serious talks with my son.
Where'd you steal that baby from?
Protect himself from the streets of our city and all over this country, including how to deal with the fact that he has to take special caution because there have been too many tragedies between our young men and our police, too, as we saw recently in Indiana. So we need to have a different conversation in this country about guns, but also a different conversation about policing that brings police and community together. We've done that in New York City, and we've driven down crime while we've done it. But to your question about Mitch McConnell, there's a political solution that we have to come to grips with. If the Democratic Party would stop acting like the party of the elites and be the party of working people again and go into states, including red states, to convince people we're on their side, we can put pressure on their senators to actually have to vote for the nominees that are put forward. Decent journalists deserve that right.
Senator Warren, I'm going to get you. I will get you 30 seconds. I promise. Let me get this question. We're trying. I know you guys. We got other issues we're trying to get to, including a big one coming up in a minute. But
they're
Senator
not
Warren,
trying.
I want to
No,
continue
not
on
at
the
all.
Mitch McConnell thing because you have a lot of ambitious plans. You have a plan for that. Okay. We talked about the Supreme Court. Do you have a plan to deal with Mitch McConnell if you don't beat him in the Senate? If he's still sitting there as the Senate Majority Leader, it's very plausible you be elected president with a Republican Senate. Do you have a plan to deal with Mitch McConnell?
I do.
Woo! I do. Yeah.
We are a democracy. And the way a democracy is supposed to work is the will of the people matters. Now, we for far too long have had a Congress in Washington that has just completely dismissed what people care about across this country. They have made this country work much better for those who can make giant contributions, made it work better for those who hire armies of lobbyists and lawyers, and not made it work for the people. Well, here's how I see this happening. Number one, sure, I want to see us get a Democratic majority in the Senate. But short of a Democratic majority in the Senate, you better understand, the fight still goes on. It starts in the White House, and it means that everybody we energize in 2020 stays on the front lines come January 2021. We have to push from the outside, have leadership from the inside, and make this Congress reflect the will of the people.
I'm going to get a couple of you in here. I'm going to get you a couple in here. 30 seconds.
Their fucking things light up.
You seem to believe you can do everything in a bipartisan manner. Mitch McConnell
Didn't they say? Didn't they say we're gonna get back to you?
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes later.
We need to get things done. That's why I believe we need to operate in a bipartisan manner. Listen, I'll
She needs to
sign
just
into
go
law
Tulsi needs to just go
bills that
ham.
come to the White House that are
As soon as he
passed
goes,
on
okay,
party
but
line
no,
basis.
I'm still talking. Blah 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 blah. Just
Transformative things we've ever done in this country's history.
gotta be a savage, man.
happened when huge majorities of the American people get behind them, which is why we
Propaganda
need
said,
real
James, go in
solutions,
debates. I'm like,
not impossible
I'd get kicked
promises.
out.
We need to put forth ideas that work, whether it's
out.
on health care, creating universal health care so that every American gets health care, but not running on making private insurance illegal. The gun issue is related. The gun safety issue is related because
I saw her pick her hand up.
How many times I've been with folks in Western Maryland, and they've said
Oh
to
shit,
me,
you lost connection.
you know, Democrats don't do anything for us.
I
Republicans don't
don't
do
think
anything
Tulsi
for us.
answered
You
since the
fight
last
all the
time
so
you
they
were
vote
here.
on that single issue.
They've been talking
If we
about
become a party
gun
of
control.
getting things done for the American people with real solutions, not impossible promises. We'll be able to get all these things done.
But listen, I promise her. He's the fucking dude in Office Space who's just
You can't get bills on the floor right now with Mitch McConnell. Presidents can't do it. Is President Booker going to get his bills on the floor with Senator McConnell?
You know, when I got to the United States Senate, going back to what de Blasio said, as an African-American man in an African-American dominated community, I knew one of the biggest issues was criminal justice reform. from police accountability to dealing with the fact that we have a
Dude,
nation that
cut
has more
these
African-Americans
motherfuckers off,
Oh
son.
my god.
Cut them off.
Dude, this is like, this is straight up Mike Gravel 2007.
Justice reform bill done. As my
I'm here
colleagues in
too.
the Senate know, I fought on that bill from
Hey,
the
whoa,
day I
hey,
got
a
to the
question.
Senate.
Look at
Built
that.
coalitions across the aisle. And
No,
today
she
we passed
doesn't have to
the
shut up on the gun issue. She
Not
could say
far
plenty.
more to go.
She could say plenty.
Thousands of people will be liberated.
Like you said, what example are we setting overseas?
Problems people said we cannot achieve.
You could always bring it back.
Get things accomplished.
Thank you, Senator Booker. Rachel's got the next question.
We are going, hold on, Governor, you're going to be happy with where we go. Governor Inslee, this next
give us a
question
second.
is to you. You got me? You got me?
Ha, joke to easy.
You have staked your candidacy on the issue of climate change. It is first, second.
They
and
jump
third.
topics.
You said it's all the issues. Let's get specific. We're here in Miami, which is already experiencing serious flooding on sunny days as a result of sea level rise.
We're gonna be able to fit all of Tulsi's responses on Instagram in one Instagram video.
Does your plan save
Or just
Miami?
one fucking post on Twitter.
Yeah, first by taking away the filibuster from Mitch McConnell to start with. We have to do that. Look at. We are the first generation to feel the sting of climate change, and we are the last
No,
that can
she
do
can talk
something
about it.
Our towns are burning, our fields are flooding, Miami is inundated. And we have to understand, this is a climate crisis, an emergency. And it is our last chance in the administration, next one, to do something about it. And we need to do what I've done in my state. We've passed a 100% clean electrical grid bill. We now have a vision statement, and my plan has been called the gold standard of putting people to work. But the most important thing on this, and the biggest decision for the American public is, who's going to make this the first priority? And I am the candidate and the only one who's saying this.
Cut him off right there. Cut him right off, right there.
Organizing principle to mobilize the United States so that we can do what we've always done. Lead the world.
It's like, whoa, this is not a one-topic race. No. Race. What about the whole world? It's not one topic.
Put out a big climate change plan from your campaign. You want some big changes in a pretty short period of time, including
Tulsi put out
switching
a-
to renewable energy, pushing to replace gas-powered cars in favor of electric ones.
What is it?
Who supports the overall goal
Stop.
of what you're trying to do, but
Stop
suddenly feels the
paying
government's telling them how
fossil
to
fuel
get
companies. I
more
think it's something like that.
What is that balance like?
I think you've got to bring everybody in to the decisions and the solutions to the challenges that we face.
This is
That's
bad.
why We're traveling everywhere, listening to.
She's got to
everybody.
just
We were
cut
in,
people out. Like,
Yeah.
go for broke.
a town that had
You're not
never
getting any
been flooded
time.
before, just up against the Missouri River.
Fucking
in
open
Iowa.
fire, Tulsi.
And every
Good
time
call.
She could wreck all of them with their she has climate change legislation on the table.
Those farmers already
Straight up.
in debt.
She's being ignored. She needs to fucking cut people off.
And now they don't know what to
She's
do.
not being asked
We in our
questions.
administration
They already
are
skipped
gonna
the
fund
topic.
Resiliency in those communities, in Miami, in Houston, Texas, those
Look
places
at back
are
at what happened to Mike
lines
Gravel
of
back in
climate change today.
2007 Democratic
$1.5 trillion in
debates.
economy over the next
Same thing's
10 years.
happening to
We're gonna
her.
free ourselves from a dependence on fossil fuels, and we're gonna put
John, she was about to say something right before Rachel Maddow said, "Huh, crack a joke." Jay Inslee.
make sure that we capture more
Someone took the camera off of her,
and
too.
keep more of it in the soil.
Yeah.
Paying farmers for the environmental services that they want to provide. If all of us does all that we can, then we're going to be able to keep this planet from warming another
I don't
2
know,
degrees
John.
Celsius and ensure that we match what this country can do and live up to our promise and our potential.
30 seconds, Secretary Castro.
Tulsi's trying to play nice, and I also think that's a grievous mistake on her
For
part.
people that are perhaps living in places.
You can you give the guy to talk like 15 seconds. Then when you hear him start like, I also have that. Well, hold on, I have this thing. It's on the table right now. You're gonna vote for it?
Building a house someplace that isn't safe. Who pays
Stop
for that?
subsidizing
And how much do they
fossil
pay?
fuel companies. It's on the table right now. What do you think about that?
Fucking ExxonMobil gets
the
what,
issue with
$4
that, you know, my
billion
first visit
a
after
year
I-
in subsidies.
Announced my candidacy wasn't to Iowa or New
That's
Hampshire.
just one
it was to San
company.
Juan, Puerto
It's
Rico.
easy work.
Because people should know
You know what? I'm running now. I see how easy the competition is. I am now running for president.
with executive experience.
I just need 65,000 individual donations.
utility. We began to
True that.
shift it from coal-fired plants to solar and other renewables, and also created more than 800 jobs doing that. And when I
Nah,
was
we could just kill him
Secretary, we
because